right, here you go. How you guys doing? Good. That was not convincing. Let's pretend you woke up this morning and had $10,000 that you were not expecting in your bank account. And now I'm asking you, again, how you doing this morning?
Fantastic.
Okay, all right. Now it's $100,000 because for some of you, 10 will be like, whatever. Now it's $100,000 is what you just got. How you doing this morning? Thank you. Now you're like, ooh, that's a great idea. How can we do that? How can we make that happen? And that's exactly what we're going to do today. What I'm going to do, why I am here, many of you, just so that I can see how fun this is going to be today. How many of you have never or have seen me before somewhere ever? Awesome. How many of you have not? Excellent. So see, you're amongst friends. Everyone hates me equally right now. We're going to do our best to help you understand some of what could be some of the most intimidating and scary concepts on the planet. How many of you are willing to admit you've thought about investing, you thought about retirement, but you're like, I'm not quite sure how to figure that thing out yet? Yeah, thank you for being honest. Because at the end of the day, sometimes that can be a very, very daunting task. One of the things that I must do first is that I must introduce you to why this game is important to me and why I believe it will become important to you in the time that we have together before you leave. Because at the end of the day, what I believe is going to happen for many of you is that you're going to walk away from here completely different than you walked in. You're going to be excited about a board game in a way that you hadn't considered ever before, because that's exactly what happened to me. How many of you seen this guy before? You know who he is? How many of you do not know who he is? Excellent. Thank you. His name is Robert Kiyosaki. He is the creator of the game that you are about to partake in. He's been doing financial education for a number of years across literally the world. The brand Rich Dad, you may have heard of the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That is one book of many that he has authored as well. So what I want to do is I want to give you just, if I can, especially for the benefit of all of you who have never seen me before, just to give you a little snippet of some of the things that I've been through, that my wife and I have been through, and more importantly, what's happened as a result of learning what's inside this game. And I think that when you see what is possible from playing this game for yourself, you'll be just as excited as I am. So here we go.
Woke up one day and said, hey, I can't wait to be a real estate investor. For me and my wife, it was kind of different.
It's not happening.
A few short years ago, I was a financial planner, then doing...
Okay, I'm going to start that over as soon as I figure out how to do the audio here. There we go.
How I got into real estate is rather an interesting story. It's not typical. It wasn't because I woke up one day and said, hey, I can't wait to be a real estate investor. For me and my wife, it was kind of different. A few short years ago, I was a financial planner, then doing, financial planning and stuff, and I enjoyed that. I love helping people. That's what I learned from being a financial planner. I also learned that I could take something that is perceived to be complicated and make it simple. Well, that was good. Some of the challenges, though, was that my wife, when she's pregnant, she has a condition known as hyperemesis. And if you've never heard of that, I don't blame you, because I hadn't heard of it until it happened. We were in a situation that we were unfamiliar territory, all of a sudden, immediately. It simply means she couldn't eat or drink while pregnant. She almost died a few times, and I was freaking out. And one day, because I was freaking out, I went to try to blow off steam, and I went to play volleyball. While playing volleyball, well, I jumped high, and I landed on a guy's head and punctured my lung. And that made it worse. I have asthma, and I developed pleurisy. Together with the drug interaction, I was unable to walk and talk simultaneously without fainting. So all of this was going on, and a friend came to me and said, you should become a real estate investor. I'm like, really? That did not make sense. But I listened, I went, and I'm glad I did. Even the way we started, we had a credit score of 398, couldn't put $75 together, but I didn't let what we didn't have stop us. It was one of the first times I've ever made a decision like that. Since then, Getting started in real estate, we've been able to do hundreds of transactions in many different states and been able to help lots of people, lots of families provide clean, safe, affordable housing. We provide jobs, and we've got commercial property and international interest now, and it's just amazing what's possible when you begin to believe. And that's kind of, I think, what I want to say. Is that maybe now it's time for you to begin to believe, because you never know what you're going to be doing. You don't know that you could meet the very person that is your role model. You don't know whom you're going to be able to impact. But here's what I do know. The story's not over. Take it one day at a time. Because you don't know who you can become until you're forced into a situation to try. I just wanted to feed my family. That's all my goal. I just want to eat. I want to make sure my kids eat. I want to make sure that we have, occasionally get to go have some fun, get to go do some things. I don't think that's asking for too much. But now it's turned into more. I've been able to help lots of people, either one-on-one or in group sessions. I've been able to help people get their first properties. I've been able to help people get their first single-family houses, multi-family houses, and many have even invested with us in various different capacities. A few years ago, I promise you, I would have never had that thought, that this would be what I was doing. But it is. I guess it's worth beginning to believe.
Thank you for that. And it started literally. How many of you are familiar with the day after Thanksgiving? What is that day usually called? Everybody knows that. I love it. That's exactly how I started playing. It was a Black Friday. I was an employee, because Black Friday, do you have anything to do? Unless you want to be one of those people who like to get up really, really early, there's not a whole lot to do, right? You've got that Thanksgiving hangover. So you're still dealing with all that turkey. And what happened is a friend said, hey, why don't you come over to our house, and we've got food, and there's a board game. Well, I am a sucker for board games. My wife likes food, so that we were like, sure, we're in. That was it. There was no more discussion necessary. And what happened is that they introduced us to this very board game. We went a.m. Now, we will not is that an idea of me. There was an idea that this game planted in my head that I had never been taught before. I was taught that I had to go to school, get good grades, and end up with a job. How many of you heard or got that same email? Right? You got that same email. And how many of us have also figured out that doesn't exactly work? At least not the way you intended it. And that's my concern. And this game began to be the lesson that taught me that there's another way. See, growing up the way I grew up, you're taught, hey, if you want to make it, you gotta play a sport, you gotta bounce a ball, you gotta sing a song, or you gotta play with white powder. You know what I'm saying? Those are one of the three things that you gotta do if you're gonna quote unquote make it. And if you're not gonna do that, then you better go to school, get good grades, and get a job. Some of you are still white powder. What is that? See, y'all didn't grow up that way. That's all. That's all. We just got different frames of references. That's all I'm saying. All right. But that was the path that was laid out for me. That was given to me for free. Here's the way you can make something happen. Everything that I've learned since then requires additional investment, usually of time, money, etc. Definitely blood, sweat, and tears. And over the past, few years, we've had the fortune. At this moment, we have a little over 350 units in many different states. It's one cell phone tower, a commercial building, and we're building a resort internationally as well. In fact, speaking of the resort, it's in a country by the name of Belize. How many of you have heard of it? How many of you have not? How many of you have noticed I ask lots of questions? Excellent. And I'm going to show you why it's important that you participate with the questions in a second. And I'm going to introduce you to Belizean hardwoods later as we talk today. But for now, what's important to understand is that my job today is to plant that same idea in your head. That what you've been hoping to have happen for you can happen. And I believe that this game and that the individuals in this room who invited you here today are the key to you being able to step through and become a completely different you, because that's exactly what happened for me. 30 days after playing the game, we opened our first stock account. 60 days after that, my wife, guys, sometimes you just got to admit she's right. My wife picked a particular stock that went up literally 1,000%, and we were on our way. We're like, what? This stuff works? It's for real? It can happen for us? Because, see, one of the lessons that I got growing up is that wealth is for them, not me. Does that make sense? And one of the things that I had to learn is that words like wealth is for everyone. So here's one of the many things that I want you to get used to is understanding that wealth is for you. And when you hear someone or me specifically, especially today, say that, your response is, that means me. So when I say words like wealth is for everyone, your response is, yes, that means me. Do we understand how this works? Okay, so wealth is for everyone? Exactly. How many people have ever told you that that meant you? See, and this game was one of the first ones that did that for me, and I hope to do the same for you. Looks like we did a really good job of getting people here, so yay. Good job there. Here's some of the basic rules that we're going to go over. Is that we do our best to be on time, start on time, end on time. We're working on that. As I said, we won't be here that entire time like you've heard. If you cannot attend or be late, because see, as you heard James say, by the way, it was James and Latanya's house that I went to that day. They're the ones who invited us to say, hey, you should come over and play this game and eat some food. And did you make your peach cobbler? Oh, yeah. If you've never had her peach cobbler, I'm telling you, you ask her, pay her, whatever you got to do, get some. If you can't attend or be late, please let the Cashflow Club leader know. Here's my point. You're not going to get everything today. Okay, so don't come here thinking, ooh, I just show up once and I'm good. There's lots of patterns of thinking that you gain by playing this game, and that we're going to that you can only gain by playing it multiple times over and over and over again. Be upfront. If you're here to sell something, let us know. That's not going to happen today. That's not what we're trying to do. Respect the learning environment. Do your best to keep your disruptions, cell phones, etc. to a minimum. Also, do our best to keep all food and drinks off the table. Okay, that'd be great. This one's important. Notice everybody's like, oops, I love that. Keep an open mind. Allow and respect another person's point of view. For example, who here today came with a significant other, spouse, or someone of that nature? Please raise your hand. Seriously. You have significant other or spouse. Okay, here's my point. There's more than one way to play this game and actually be successful at it. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I'm going to say a word. It's a 4-letter word, and some of you are trying to guess what it is right now, and you're hoping it's not certain 4-letter words. But when I say that word, you're going to have an emotional reaction. The word is debt. Some of you just had an emotional reaction, some of it positive, some of it negative. It doesn't really matter. The point is, in order to be successful in this game, the way that it presents itself, you may have to learn how to use debt. When I say the word debt, some of you, who is willing to admit that you have a negative neuroassociation, meaning when I say the word debt, you go, ooh, I don't want that. Excellent. How many of you, when I say that, you think, ooh, leverage, maybe I can use that? Excellent. Thank you. My point is, there are many different ways to make this thing work. Do not shortcut your learning curve by thinking that your way is the only right way. And one of the best ways that I learned this is that my wife and I are completely different. How many of you have noticed that men and women think a little bit differently? Yeah, a lot of bit differently, right? And one of the two of us prefers to use leverage, and the other does not at all. Now, I'm not going to say anything about which one tends to get out of the rat race and first and how those things work, but typically when I win, it tends to happen in such a way because of the tools that I learned to use inside the game. Okay? Now, trust me, she's okay with me saying that. Hi, honey. So those things happen. But the point is, I've learned things from her, and she's learned things from me. And together, that helps us be a better, more complete person, so to speak. So if you played this game before, Learn from the new people. New people learn from the experienced people. That's very, very important. Stay on purpose. Stay focused on the subject. That's my goal. Be direct. If something upsets you, please talk to us directly, because let's just deal with it and move on. Number 8 is absolutely important. We've taken this game to inner city, especially up here in LA. We've taken this game to schools. We've done many different things. The key is I need you to participate fully and have fun. If you're not here to do that, by all means, the door is right there. Leave, seriously, because there are so many people that need this information that I want to share. And the main thing that I've got to say is the more you participate, the more you personally will get out of this day, the more you will change, and it doesn't have to take forever. When I say to you, for example, it doesn't have to take forever, and I also say that at this moment we have a little over 300 units, 1 commercial property, a cell phone tower, and our building and resort. How many of you, when you look at me, you go, God, he looks way too young for that? Yeah, I know. Some of you are like, what? How many of you think that took like decades to do? Yeah, it sounds like it should, but it's been done over the last 6 years. And it doesn't have to take long unless you let it. And that's one of the things that I want to make sure that I plant here. Now, how many of you have seen this before? You seen this? How many of you have not? Okay, for the benefit of those who have not, I'm going to describe and help you understand it. The goal, my goal today, one of my many goals, is to make sure that you leave here smarter than you came. Now, for some of you, that's going to be very easy for me, and for others of you, it's going to be very, very hard. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I accept the challenge. When you're looking at is what is called the cash flow quadrant. Now, who here brought their kid that is not yet in high school? Did we have anyone in that situation? Or not yet in high school or college? Okay. All right, got it. Here's my point is that sometimes when I share this information, people change their entire direction of life. They go from, ooh, this is what I want to do, to why am I going to college anyway? And just be prepared for that conversation if necessary. So at the end of the day, you've got the 4 individuals in business, the E, the S, the B, and the I. The E is the employee. This person you are very familiar with. They work, and their time and money are directly tied together. That if they don't work, they don't get paid. They work, their hours and their income are 100%. It's a linear 1-to-1 relationship. The self-employed person, they tend to have clients. They tend to think, oh, I make $200 an hour, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour, whatever it is. And they tend to think in clients. Also think about doctors, attorneys, and other salespeople or self-employed individuals. The B is the business owner. And this is the one of many things you're going to want to write down today. What the business owner does differently is that he or she owns and controls the means of production. The means of production. What does that mean? That means whether they are present or not, a business produces a product or service that benefits their customer and for a profit. It's one of the major reasons I love the things that we can do with paper assets, real assets, etc., is because there's a way to use them to generate what is typically known as passive or residual, or sometimes, many different types of income that doesn't require your physical labor in order for you to get paid. And that's one of the main tools that you're being introduced to today in a tactical way that you could have the benefit of. And I'm going to show you how that works as the game. And then the I, investor. The investor, here's the interesting thing. The investor uses their money. They want their money to go out into the marketplace and come back with a few more friends. That's it. That's really what they are doing. But you know what they're looking for? They're looking for the person who has a system that can do that. And here's something that I learned. When you look at this, the E, the S, and the B, and the I, the E, who are they looking for? What are they looking for? They're looking for a job. Where do they find that job? Who has it? On this, who's the person that has the job? This person. Got it. So that attorney, that mortgage broker, the person who is looking for those high-end clients where they get paid a whole bunch of money, who typically is that person that has the need for those high-end legal services and all that stuff? The B. Okay, excellent. And so the person here, the investor, they don't really want to run anything. They just want their money to go out there and be controlled by someone who has a system and receive checks passively on a monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. Who's the person that does that for them? Isn't it not also the same person, the business owner? But yet we go to school, we're told to get good grades, and we end up with a job, and we're taught how to be job takers, not job makers. And that's the part of the problem. And what we're going to learn today is the beginnings of how you become a job maker at the end of the day. You say there's not enough of whatever in the marketplace, it's because it's up to you and I, the entrepreneurs of the world, to be able to go out there and make this thing happen. Now, you should have inside your folders a piece of paper that looks very similar to this, so go ahead and take it out now. That'd be great. And on the front it has, that page right there. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transition into teaching you how to play this game. Most importantly, I'm going to teach you what I like, how to win. How many of you like to win? How many of you prefer to lose? Nobody? Excellent. Glad to hear it. Just want to make sure. Now, there you have a page inside your packet that looks like, where'd it go? You have a page that looks like the cone of learning. It's the second page. It should look like this. Do you see that page? It should be the second page. Now, as you look at that, cone of learning looks like this, okay? And first of all, note at the bottom, they've known this since 1969. Some of you have been around since then. That means it's not new knowledge. But investing is a skill. Because it's a skill, that means it can be learned. You don't learn skills by just watching a book or watching something on TV. How many of you know how to tie your shoe? No, seriously. How many of you know how to tie your shoe? Okay, excellent. Did you learn that by downloading an ebook? No. Okay, good. Hey, I don't know. Was it a video course? Was it a weekend boot camp? It was right? And what happened is that mommy or daddy sat down and showed you how to make the one rabbit hole and the little rabbit hole, and he goes through do you get my point? And you go through that. Did you do that one time and get it straight? No. 2 times? No, you did it until you got it. It didn't matter how many times. Make sense? Investing's the same way. You don't try it once and go, ooh, that didn't work, and then I just quit and run home. You do it until you get it. Okay? And here's the point. In order to grasp a skill, you must remember it from the time you've learned it. So when you look at this piece of paper, we tend to remember 10% of what we read and 20% of what we hear. So if all you do was read and hear, you at best remember 20% of something. Now, when you were in school, what did they spend the majority of time doing? Telling you to read and talking at you. Now, that should make some of us feel a little bit better about our grades. Yes? You're like, no wonder. I had no shot. I could only remember 20% at best. And here's the point. My goal today is to make sure that when you leave, you remember 2 weeks from now what happens today, because that's what begins to change you. So what does that mean? That means I've got to move you up the cone of learning. Let's see how we're doing so far. You got to look at pictures. Have we looked at any pictures? Yes. And you'll be looking at pictures as you continue to play the game. What's that next one? It says watching a movie. Did we not do that? Even if it was only for 3 minutes, it was quickly there. Watching a demonstration, seeing it done on location. This is a place you can come to obtain that additional financial knowledge that you need and see it done on location. That's what's done inside these walls. Look at what happens once we begin to participate in a discussion. 70% of what we say, we tend to remember. Wow. How many of you are willing to admit that you're like me and you can't stand speaking in public? You're like, you don't like that? Not really. Okay. Well, here's the point. I'm going to have you speaking in public today. Yay. They're like, oh, no. See, she's shaking her head. I like it. She's like, no, I'm not. She didn't even realize she was doing it. She's like, you don't know me. I ain't doing that. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I'm going to show you it's not as bad as you think, okay? Giving a talk also helps you remember. What does that mean? That means I'm learning too. It's one of the reasons I love it. One of the best ways to learn anything is to teach it, period. One of the best ways to learn it, teach it. Then when we get into the 90% range, we got doing a dramatic presentation and, more importantly, simulating the real experience. Is anyone here affiliated with our military or armed services in any way, shape, or form? Awesome. First of all, thank you for your service. Let's give them a round of applause. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is, I think, how it works. When they go, okay, cool, I want to be a part of the military, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up, and then the next day they hand me a well-functioning assault rifle. That's how that works? Is that how that works? Okay, I got it. No, I'm going to sign up for the Air Force. Okay, cool, I'm in today. Tomorrow I get to operate and fly an F-16. Is that how that works? No. There's a process that it goes through, and at a minimum, what are they going to participate in? A simulation. At least once, or a whole lot of hours first? A whole lot of hours. How fast can you put your gun together? How many times can you stay up way too late and still function properly with bullets whizzing by your head? How before we give them access or control to a multi-billion-dollar piece of equipment, weapon of destruction, we put them through a simulator. Yet, for some reason, when it comes down to trying to be an investor, we think we can stay up late one night, buy a book for $19.95, have it come, and then go, boom, I got it. I know what's going on. Seriously. No, you've never had any practice, but you think you know it all and you got it. And worse, you think you can do it alone. You're like, I got this. I've never done it, but it's going to be okay. You know, how many of you have ever been at that house the first time that new person cooked the turkey on Thanksgiving? And you were like, oh, God. And you're trying to beg grandma, please cook the turkey because we don't want her to do it. You know what I'm saying? But yet we do this with our money all day long. You've never cooked the turkey, but you're like, yeah, I can do this. And you put tens of thousands of dollars at risk without understanding exactly what's going on. And then someone comes along and offers you an opportunity for some guidance, and you're like, I don't need that. Really? That boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. My point is, because this game simulates the real life, what's going to happen is that you're going to remember a lot. My intent today is to make sure that you remember a lot. My intent today is to literally be that voice in your head the next time you are at the grocery store buying bread. And you're like, God, I can't get rid of him. Because if I can influence where you place your dollar, what will happen is that you will make small degrees of change today, which maybe 6 years from now, you're the one up here teaching a room full of people what it is that needs to be changed, that will help them be able to realize the things that they've always wanted. Does that make sense? Yes or yes? That's what I get excited about. That's why I continue to do it. That's what's way exciting for me. Now, yeah, do I intend to continue to purchase real estate? Yeah, my goal for many of you, you know this already, is to get to 1,000 units and 1 million square feet of commercial space and finish my resort. That's it. So, yeah, we're going to do those things. But what gives me way more fulfillment is helping people here make small incremental changes, whoever that's going to be. And I don't know who you are, but I know that someone in here was ready for this change, and that's why I came today. And if you think you're ready, say, I'm ready. I'm ready. Excellent. So here we go. When it comes to money, the greatest asset is your financial knowledge. Most importantly, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the board game or this sheet of paper. What you see on the outside is called the fast track. It is called the fast track. So the outside circle, that is the fast track. The inside the inside circle is the rat race. The outside is the fast track. The goal is to get out of the rat race and land into the fast track. That is your number one goal. In order to do that, what you must do is that you must have your passive income be greater than or equal to your total expenses. You're like, where's that at? Turn to the third, it should be the third page in your packet. Or actually, oh, they didn't do double-sided. Okay. It should look like this. It should look like this. Should look like this. Okay? Excellent. No, that's the back side, right? It should look like this on the front side. Yeah, there you go, that one. Excellent, excellent, perfect. And this is a basic income statement and balance sheet. Is anyone in here CPA, accountant, anything like that? Yes? Excellent. What is it, Susan? Awesome. This is a very, very basic one, is it not? like hyper basic. She's like, yeah, you have no idea. It's laughable to her how basic this is. But for me, back in 93, this was the first time I had seen one. Never seen one, didn't know about it. How many of you have noticed, how many of you have actually passed the high school level? Yes, you've done that, excellent. And has anyone ever asked you for your report card since then? No, they just stopped caring. But many times they start asking, how much do you earn and what do you owe, right? And you're like, I don't know. You tell me, right? And what they're asking for is your income statement and balance sheet. But yet many of us don't keep score properly. We don't even know how to look at them, and that's what we're going to learn today, part of it. So we're going to simulate the real experience. As you look at the board game, you see the fast track. When you were 8, 9, 10, 18, 28, 30, how many of you said, I want to go, here's what I want to do. Here's my life plan. I want to take 60 hours of my week, every week of my life, be told when to go to lunch, when to go to the bathroom, when to show up, when to go to sleep, how long I can go on vacation, if I can go on vacation. Mind you, I've got to apply for a vacation faster than the person sitting next to me. Otherwise, we can't both go at the same time. How many of us said that I can't wait for all of that to happen so that I can hopefully apply for a 3% raise and be denied over and over again because the person next to me who does half the work I do actually gets the raise that I wanted? How many of you said that that's what you were looking for? Okay, good. Is that something of an accurate description of what you experienced, though? Yeah. That's unfortunate. What it does tell me, though, is that when you first started out, you had a dream that had nothing to do with most of what you're currently experiencing. And we're going to simulate the real experience. So here's what I need you to do. On your table, there are a number of rats. Those rats have colors, and they have a cheese. They should have a color and a cheese. They pick a color and a rat. That is the cheese. You take the cheese, hear me clearly, you take the cheese and you look on the outside track. On the outside track are pink squares. What color? Pink squares. Place your cheese on one of the pink squares. Any one, doesn't matter. Begin. Did I know, because we're tight. All right, so I changed my mind on that. We're good. What happened? Can we set another table? Yeah. So do we have one more table? If we have another table, then yeah, let's get it done. Yes, sir. No. Okay, excellent person. Working on it, James. So, no, you're right. I will try. Oh, look. I had all highlighted so I could click the share button. It did not do that. I just didn't make it that far. Okay, hold on. I gotta get this up. Okay. Hand is up. Max. Thank you. Awesome. When I need to get your attention, instead of yelling, what I will stand and say is hand is up, and I'll stand somewhere in the room and with my hand raised so that it'll be a signal to you to stop talking and to raise your hand, which will be a signal to the person whom you are talking to stop talking and raise their hand, which will be a signal to the, you get my point? All right. That way we can get the information out, we can get playing and make this thing happen. So just like in real life, though, the first thing you did is you had a dream. You wanted to do something. You wanted to be something, right? And you just now picked that for the entirety of the game. But however, in real life, continuing to simulate the real experience now, here's what happens. You go to school. You get your grades. Whether they're good or not, different story. But you get your grades, and you end up with a what? A job. So There's a banker at your table. Bankers, here's what I need you to do. I need you to take the occupation cards. And what we're going to do is we're going to simulate for everybody how most people picked their job. This is exactly how you did it. Bankers, I need you to take the occupation cards, turn them upside down, shuffle them, and hand them out randomly. Because that's how you got the job you got right now, isn't it? It was just random. You're like, hey, this is great. Whatever it is, shuffle and hand them out randomly. What's that? Excellent. Is that his name, Matt? Matt, we have a chair right here. Okay, we're getting I think we actually solved the problem. As far as I can tell. Never mind. Come on in. No, I thought Matt was going to sit there. Here's what we're going to do. Ray, can I ask you to do me a favor? I have more people than I have qualified bankers. Can I get you to go to this table and help me get these people caught up? Can you do that for me? Thank you. Okay, Kylan, I've got a person coming over to help get them caught up. We're covered. You're welcome. It's what we do. It's what we do. Right, it's over there. All right. Hand is up. Thank you. You guys got this. That was quick. I like it. All right, so you see on this sheet of paper, you see how that sheet of paper looks a lot like the card. All I want you to do, now hear me clearly, all I want you to do is on your sheet of paper, in the upper right corner, it says player. Write your name. Write your name. Do that now. To the left of the word player says profession. On the top of your card, it has a name of your profession. And then under your name, it says auditor. That is the person to your right. They will be your auditor. You've heard of companies like Arthur Andersen and Enron, right? Yeah, let's try not to do that today, okay? And we're going to do our best there. Now, I want to give you a quick lesson. At the top of your occupation card, there is a number, okay? But also, look at your dream for a second. When you look at your dream, there's a number under it. Tell me what that number is. Shout them out. 200,000. What? 150. What else? 100,000. 225. 250. Excellent. Now that you know how much your dream costs, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to do. Look at your salary on your occupation card. Some of you chuckle. I love that. I love that. You're like, ha, ha. Great. All right. Here's the lesson. You're going to want to hear this. All right. Hear me clearly. Here's what's happened. Here's what just happened to you mentally. When you start out in life, you have this dream. You don't even care what the cost is because most of you chose it without looking at it. You just looked at the title. Ooh, that sounds like fun. Boom, done. That's how you did it. And then you learned later how much that would cost to do. And then you looked at your bank account or your paycheck and you made one of three decisions. You said, ooh, what I want is up here, but I make things down here. Oh, that's just never going to happen. And you quit. That's decision number one. Decision number two, you go, ooh, what I want is up here. What I make is down here. And you go, you know, I don't need a vacation. I don't need that car. You're going to pay for your own college. Is that, and then until you keep whittling this down until it matches close enough and you go, okay, that's just where we are. Decision number three, you go, ooh, that's up here. I'm down here. You know, there's some people who get these things, so maybe I should read a book and play a game and find out what they're doing and maybe do what they're doing, and eventually you get to the point where, oh, that's what it takes in order to make that happen. And that's what this game is going to teach you how to do. Because some of you, when you look at your occupation title, how many of you are willing to admit you had a negative reaction? You looked at it, you were like, I don't like this. Keep your hand up. What was the title? Mechanic. Janitor. Truck driver. Nurse. There's lots of jokes about male nurses. What that? Truck driver. Police officer. Business manager. Janitor. Why does janitor always get the rap? That's messed up. Pilot. He doesn't want to be a pilot. Okay. How many of you, when you looked at your job title, you went, awesome, this is exciting. Excellent. Keep your hand up. What did you get? Doctor. Airline pilot. Hold on. He just said airline pilot and he wasn't happy and you're happy with it. That's interesting. What's that? And he's at military. I got experience. You don't understand. This is kind of good. Excellent. Who else? You liked your job. What did you get? Doctor. Excellent. Sorry. Anyone else from over this table? Oh, wow. How did we get all the ladies at one table? What's up with that? Well, all right. Cool. All right. Anyone from that table? What did you get that you liked or didn't like? Business manager. You didn't like it or like it? You did like it. Excellent. Yes. Nurse. How old are you? Yes. 15. Y'all are going to be jealous by the time we're done of everything he learns today. Excellent. Here's my point. You realize we've got people who have the same job. You're reacting to a title. Has nothing to do with anything. You're just reacting to a title. What does it mean at the end of the day? Did anyone get janitors and excited about it? I'm just curious. Yeah. Okay. Did anyone get teacher and is it excited about it? No? Okay. Yeah. Excellent. Cool. Here's the thing that I love about this game is that it teaches so many small little things like that oftentimes we're chasing a title for no apparent reason whatsoever. And at the end of the day, it ends up strangling us and we don't even know why. So here's one of the reasons why. What I need you to do now is take your occupation card and your balance sheet and income statement, and I need you to copy, using a pencil, all of the information from the occupation card over to the balance sheet. I want you to do this in a moment. When? In a moment. The other thing that I want you to do is next to your name, hear me clearly, next to your name, you're going to want to write the color of your rat and cheese, because at some point you will forget. Okay? So, ready? Begin. How are we doing, Ray? Good. Excellent. Thank you. Do we still have more? No, we're good. Excellent. Thank you. We good? Are you cold? So, excellent. Keep going. Keep going. Just copy the information, all of the numbers. Just take them from the card over to the other one. Thank you. The person to your right is your auditor. Hopefully they know what they're doing and can help you make that happen. If you are finished copying all of your information past your score sheet and occupation card to your auditor, so they will audit you to make sure that you didn't add any extra zeros to your income or kindly forget your per child expense. Can't forget the kids. Keep going. Make sure you're using a pencil, please. For some of you, this may be the first time you have ever filled out an income statement or balance sheet. Susan, she does it all the time. This is basic. She's like, I did not want to work today. Let me know if we have any questions. Hi. All right, bankers, let me know when your table is done. Everyone has copied their information and been audited. Let me know when your table is finished. Where's my water?
I don't know.
Thank you. You're muting? Awesome, perfect. Okay. Okay. Sandra? Sandra? Yes, I know. I'm trying to do it. Who am I supposed to send those to? Okay, I just sent you an invite that should get you to an online photo album with the photos. All right. Are we yet done? Excellent. Crystal, done? Done? Eric, done? Almost? Done? James, done? Yes? Not yet. Okay. Hand is up. Thank you. All right. So now here's how you win. You're all going to start in the rat race. That's called the circle. Welcome. It's where you get to go to work, earn a paycheck, and then you go again, and you get to earn another paycheck. And you get to make decisions about money. And if you make the right decisions about money, then you eventually get out into what is known as the fast track. The fast track, again, is on the outside. And there are two ways to win. How many? Two. Those two ways are as follows. You start in the rat race. You get out, and you purchase your dream. You have enough money to purchase your dream, okay? That is the first way to win. The second way to win is you start in the rat race, you get out into the fast track, and you have enough money to purchase additional businesses that increase your passive income by an additional $50,000 a month or more. Now, when I was at their house and they said that to me, I was like, who are these people that are earning $50,000 a month or more? Because they're definitely not related to me or my friends. And what I learned by playing this game continuously is that you can learn to become this people. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I didn't know that was possible for me. I didn't know that wealth was for me. Wealth is also for everyone. Yeah. That means me. Yeah, see, you're like, tuned out. Now you're back. Okay, that's my point. So the first way to win is to buy your dream. Second way, buy enough businesses, increase your passive income by an additional $50,000 a month or more. So you're like, how do I do that? How do you get out of the rat race is what we're going to talk about right now. Right here is your passive income on your sheet. You see that? Right here is your total expenses. You see that? You get out of the rat race when your passive income is greater than or equal to your total expenses. That's it. That is your goal. That is the focus of what you must learn to do. Learn to take your active income that you're earning at work and use vehicles of investment to create passive income. And that's what this game is going to teach you how to do. One of those vehicles of investment is obviously stocks and mutual funds, etc. And that's when we're talking about these cards. If you look at the table, you see these cards. They say small deal, big deal, the market, and doodad. A small deal is any deal that starts with no money down on up to $6,000. A big deal starts at around $4,000 and goes up to $200,000. A market card is where you typically sell one of the green items that you purchase, and a doodad is what you're going to grow to hate. Because whatever it is, you must buy. And if it tells you you use credit cards, even if you say to yourself, I would never do that. Well, today in the game, you did that, okay? That's what's going to happen. Now, additionally, as you look around the circle, you see two other squares. They are called baby and they are called downsize. The goal is not to do both at the same time. I have personal experience here. So, but it's exactly like it sounds. You have a kid, you lose your job. All right? And then the important one that many of you are wondering about is the almighty paycheck, right? That almighty paycheck is also on your balance sheet and income statement. It is this number right here. Oh, where'd it go? That's the expenses. That's not the one I wanted. Let me go to the other sheet. Right, boom. There we go. So on that sheet right here is the paycheck. Do you see that? Locate it now. Excellent. So anytime you land on the green squares, you can choose an opportunity card. Big deal or small deal, your choice, no rhyme, no reason. Let me say this very clearly. Some of you, because of your financial situation in the game, you will not be able to only do small deals and succeed. You're going to have to learn. You're like, how do I do that if I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars? You're going to have to figure that out. That's part of what makes this game awesome. Is it forces you to do things that you may not naturally do, but what better place to learn and skin your knee? In a game or out there? In a game. Those of you who have played before, I challenge you to do something you have never done. Take a risk. It could be fun. You might learn something, and that's what's really important here. All right, so you've got to have your paycheck, and anytime you land on or pass paycheck, you must do two things. How many? Two things. Don't get mad at the banker if you fail to do these two things. You must say the word paycheck and also tell him or her how much that paycheck is. If you do not get paid because there is no direct deposit. Are we clear? Got it. All right. You must say that. If the person to your right rolls the dice and then you go, ooh, I forgot my paycheck, you forgot your paycheck and don't get paid. Okay? So we're very clear. Don't be like throwing no bows or nothing. Just know that you forgot it. It's your fault. Okay? Now, the last thing that we need to go over is how to get you some money. Here's a quick test. I want to make sure that you know how to read and locate numbers on your income statement and balance sheet. So, on your income statement, and I'm using these words purposely so that you get used to them and learn them. On your income statement, there is a line that says salary. You are going to receive, here's what I want you to do. You multiply your salary by 2, and you add your savings, which is on your balance sheet, together. 2 times your salary plus your savings. Whatever that number is, the banker is going to hand you that amount of money in cash right now. Ready? Begin. Yes. Yeah, that's what we haven't even started that yet. That's exactly what we're getting ready to do. I'm stepping. The main thing right now, you just need to tell Max how much money you're going to receive. So multiply your salary by 2 and add your savings together, and he's going to hand you that amount of money in cash. Okay? Remember, it's salary, not paycheck. It's a quick test. I know you weren't expecting to be tested. Welcome to the real world. Hey, Jacob. The people online are hearing. Okay, got it. So I could talk directly to them. Okay, got it. Okay, go ahead, unmute me, and I'm gonna talk to them for a second. Hey guys, those of you watching online, go to 1. Those of you watching online, glad that you're here. Hopefully you're able to learn something, take some notes, and this will definitely be one of those reasons why you want to become a Cashflow Diary Founders member, is because as I broadcast live, these things happen. I know it was totally random today. We didn't know we were going to be able to make it happen. It just happened that way. So for those of you watching, congratulations. Glad you made it here. Glad you opened those emails and make that happen. Feel free to hit the share buttons if you can and make those things work. Let other people know that this is going on. And this is, again, one of the reasons why you get to be a Cashflow Diary Founders member. You want to make sure that that happens so that you can watch these recordings and learn how to do these cash flow games yourself. As you can see today, we have a room, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 people, which is great. And we're just going to take them through the process. So I'm going to get right back to it. All right, guys. Yes, yes. Crystal, yes. They went to the bathroom. Max, everybody have money? Excellent. Yes. James? Nope. Nope. Is that why? What's the problem? You can't count? It's just money. You can do it, man. He wanted change for a 20? Got it. All right. So, as a review, let me go through. Here's how you play this game, guys. It's a lot. Oops, I went the wrong way. Sorry. I just realized that. I'm like, hey, that's the beginning. You're going to start in the rat race. That's at the circle. As you go around the rat race, you're going to roll dice and land on squares. When you land on those squares, you get the privilege of making a decision. That decision is going to be completely up to you. When you land on the green squares, there are opportunities. Small deal or big deal, your choice. When you land on the market square, you pick up the market card and you read it. Your choice on what to do with it. When you land on the doodad, you must do what it says. Period. Sorry. And then you've also got downsized. You've got baby. Every time you pass paycheck, you get paid. Congratulations. Hear me clearly. Many of you, you're going to make the wrong decisions. That's okay. This is the place where you do that. When you're in an airplane, would you rather crash when it's real or in the simulation? Everybody gets that right. But for some reason, when you play this game, you get afraid to crash. It's a game. Okay? The money in your hand is not real. Okay? So understand that as you go through this process, because we want to help you associate the money habits you currently have with the things that are going to change your financial future, and this game has the ability to do that. One more lesson and we will get started. When you look at that sheet and you see passive income and your total expenses, your passive income being greater than your total expenses, who was those individuals that got janitor? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Who are the janitors? What are your total expenses? $950. So the janitor is at $950. Who got doctor? Doctor, excellent. Raise your hand. Perfect. Doctors, what are your total expenses? $9,650. So that means in the same 30 days, one person spends $950 to live, and the other spends $9,650 to live. Make sense? That's how this sheet is to be used. Now, remember, the goal is to have your passive income be greater than or equal to your total expenses. So, doctors, janitors, everybody, when you look at your passive income, what is that number right now? 0. So let me ask you this question, and I need you to think here. If we only measured in dollars, who has more work to do, the janitor or the doctor? The doctor. They've got more dollars that they need to generate passive income-wise to make this work. Now, if we measured as a percentage of total income, who has more work to do, janitor or doctor? Percentage of total income. Because right now, the doctor has 0% in passive income. The janitor has 0% passive income. So the playing field is level. The lesson there is that it doesn't really matter what you do right now. It's the decisions you make once you learn this information that's going to change your situation. Not about how much money you make. Many of you are thinking right now, if I had more money, I'd have less problems. Wrong. No one in this room, on this planet, in my world that I am aware of, has a money problem. Every one of us have an idea problem. I'll continually prove that to you as we go. It's the decisions you make once you get under and understand this that are going to make or break your ability to get out of the rat race. I don't want you thinking, oh, if I was a doctor, I totally would have won. Oh, if I was a janitor, I totally would have won. Although that one might kind of be true. And you'll understand that as the game goes on. He's at the same spot. They got to stay in the rat race. They got to sit in traffic and go to work and do what they got to do to eat. Okay? So keep that in mind. So here's how we're going to play. You're going to choose one die. You're going to roll it, and high roll wins. It looks like we're missing a die here. Oh, there's a third one. Never mind. Make sure every table has 3 die. We're going to choose one die. High roll wins. You are going to start. You're going to start right. You're going to place your rat and start right here on the board game. You're going to place your rat and start right here. And then you're going to go this direction around the board game. You're going to go that direction around the board game. Okay? So, okay, hold on. Hold on before we go. I'm going to need you to roll to see who goes first, and then the second thing, because a number of you have never played. And here's what's important. This is where the learning is going to be. Anytime you land on a square, what I need you to do is when you pick up that card, read it aloud for the entire table. Okay? On that note, do not ask the banker. Do not ask me. What should I do? I'm not going to answer, and neither are they. Okay? However, you can ask all kinds of questions to help you decide what to do. We're just not going to give you the answer. Does that make sense? Because the number one thing you should learn from this game right now at the stage of your investing career is this a good deal or not? You should be able to determine that. And before you leave, that will be something you know. Is this a good deal for me and not? And all I care about is that you learn why you buy or why you don't buy. Many times I will walk around the room and I'll ask you, if you're in the middle of making a financial decision, I'll say, why did you buy or why did you not buy? And I just want to know what you have to say for those things. Because oftentimes, too many times, in fact, we're led to the slaughter. We don't even know it. We can't recognize it because we don't know why we bought or why we didn't buy, but you will today. So I need you to take one die, roll, and determine who goes first. Read the cards aloud. And yes, I know bank loans are possible. We're not going to talk about those right now, okay? But let's just go ahead and play. Ready? Begin. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. 2 dice. James, 2 dice. Everybody roll 2 dice. 2 dice. 2 dice. 2 dice. 2 dice. 2 dice. 2 dice when you start going around. 2 dice when you start going around. 2 dice. Let's just roll and roll and roll. And I need to quit getting new bottles. No, no. Paycheck normal. 2. The whole game. 2. Yes. 2. I'm gonna talk to the people online. Hey guys, I know you're watching online from all across the U.S. Welcome. I'm out here in, where am I? Woodland Hills, California. Woodland Hills, California. This is known as Nordstrom Class A real estate office commercial building that I'm currently in. We're talking security cards and all that kind of stuff. That's just kind of how we do it out here. Anyway, here's the point. Type in your questions. Now is the time, especially now that I've got the game going, now that I've got the people playing. Now is the time for you to be asking me questions about how to do your games and the questions that you might exactly have. We've got people right there typing, so type your questions in. We've got people watching the chat room, waiting to talk to you, waiting to help so that you can learn what it is that you need to do in terms of room setup. And that's some of the things. As you see the shots, play it, look at how the room is set up, because it's set up strategically. Yes, we're using the money. We're doing that strategically. Yes, the questions that I'm having and the interviews that I'm having with people are all strategic to help them learn. Remember, he or she who educates the market dominates the market. And what you're watching is that I'm going to be dominating the marketplace, quote unquote, right here, right now. So just keep that in mind as we continue to go through this process. And we'll be here a number of hours, so feel free to click share, invite some friends, and watch this. This is, by the way, another reason why you probably want to become a Cashflow Diary Founders member. There should be a link below here that you can go ahead and do that so that you can always be notified of things like this. Because again, it was just kind of random. We were just like, if we get it all set up fast enough, we'll make that happen. So you might as well go ahead and send a thank you to Drew, to Jacob, to Sandy, to Scott, because it doesn't happen just because Jay says let's make it happen. Without those 4 individuals, especially today, it would not have happened at all. So feel free to give them a round of applause, a clap, or whatever you can do from wherever you are, because today they totally made this thing happen, which is awesome. So let's watch, let's learn, let's just keep helping these individuals and make a difference in their life. fine. Your challenge. Just to ask questions. Not tell them what you know. Ask questions. Why do you think that? Why would you do that? Okay. What else? Why are you doing it? Yeah, I mean, seriously, dude, it's the same thing. That'll be fun for you, okay? Cool. Excellent. Hands up. Yep. All right, thank you. So really quickly, I just want to introduce two of my team members here today with us. We have Sandy and Scott. Everybody say hi, Sandy. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Sandy. Hi, Scott.
Okay, they've followed me around. They've seen me do this a number of times. This is also code for they have a lot of the answers to the questions that you might be asking. So if you see them walking around, feel free to stop them, ask them questions. Now, they're not going to give you the answer, but they are trained in how to ask you questions so that they can lead you to the answer that makes the most sense. So don't get mad at them for not giving you the answer. Appreciate them for helping to be so concerned about your learning that they won't give you the answer, but will teach you what you need to know so that when you leave these four walls, you understand what it is that you need to do in your life. Does that make sense? So if you see them walking around, feel free to do that. Yes, I have a question. They don't work here. They came in and told you. Yes. And as a side note, you probably have noticed a camera or two, and we've got the tech crew over here. There's a number of individuals that tend to follow me around literally across the world. You can wave hi to them anytime they're watching in various parts of the U.S. And do we have any international people yet? No? I don't know. You don't know? Anyway, so they're there. They're learning right along with you because they're like, how do I play this game? I know. I'm telling them all. I'm ratting you guys out. Anyway, so that they're learning right along with you because everybody across the planet needs to know how to play this game. I've done this in Estonia. I've done this in Lithuania. I've done this on cruise ships. I've had 180 people in the room before. The point is, I love teaching this game, and I know you're going to learn a lot. And I want to make sure that you know about Sandy and Scott as well, because I may be over here and you got a question over there, and I just want to do our best to make sure that we can serve you as best as possible, okay? So just keep playing, keep going. We will have some discussions here soon, but just keep playing, keep going. Yeah. Did you get the link, Scott, for the photos? I have it. Whatever you need. Yes, I never said there was no rule against that.
Yeah, she was saying she wanted to wait.
No. By all means, if you want to, knock yourself out. No, there's no rule against it. Some people aren't going to do it.
Wait a second. So I have a baby. Okay. But what about these three little squids? So I'm not next time.
Yes, I got you.
I only roll two dice, so my expenses probably should go up. Maybe I should give them one. Well, I'll probably keep it hot. Well, if you didn't, so I could roll. Okay, the next time
Yes, it's all good. I'm good with it though. Whatever you want.
I'm gonna give you $1,000.
I do. Something salty. Yes. Then I'm going to hand you my phone so that you can do the same thing.
I got it. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and cheese, and wonderful. All right, good job. And let's get yours.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, guys.
This way?
Oh, you want it? Okay. Little landscape.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, and cheese, and give it to me, please. All right, good job.
Thank you.
All right, good job, man.
Oh, 30 minutes. Got it. Eventually we'll get real cameras. Eventually. Sorry. Trying. Yes, ma'am. Hi.
We got a question.
Who sold something?
I sold this property
Okay.
for 500.
Oh, the opportunity to buy the property for 500 to him.
Yeah.
Excellent. Now, what's the question? It's cash, right? So it goes where the rest of your cash is.
Oh, you don't put it in your
Because there's no passive income.
That is no passive income. Because how many times do you get paid that $500? Yeah, exactly. That's. Yeah. Got it. Got it. No problem. If you know how to do the loan thing, okay. So go ahead and do the loan. I will break the room in a second and explain it to everybody because if he knows, then great. That way, well, no. I'm gonna you just go ahead and do it. I'm gonna cover that in a second. Okay. Excellent. You only got the cash, and that's it. So there's nowhere to place. There's nowhere to place it because it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just part of that.
Got it.
It's not an and see the lesson there is cash isn't really an asset. Not really. It's actually it has counterparty risk. It's actually a debt instrument, but that's a whole other story for another day.
It's gonna be, yeah, Taco Bell's gonna get some of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me. There we go. Oh, sorry. I'm good. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Love these. Are you kidding? Jacob, you ready? Hand is up. Thank you. How many of you have learned something even in the few minutes you've been playing already? Love it. Excellent. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce you to a new part of the game. And some of you, if you don't learn how to use this successfully, you won't win, you won't succeed, and you're just going to have a frustrating day. So I told you ahead of time. All right, here's how it goes. For the entirety of the game, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give everybody an 800 plus FICO score. How many of you are excited and like me right now? You're like, yeah! Awesome! Excellent! There you go. It's all yours. You're like, I wish that was real life. But here's the point. Here's what I'm also going to give you. I am going to give you the access to my bank loans. And I'm going to tell you what you must have in order to make that work. In order to get my bank loans, you need no income verification. How many of you are excited about that? Right? Yeah, which also means, I don't care. You need no assets. Yay! I also want no collateral. Yay! Here's my point. You can borrow money, hear me clearly, for any reason. Okay? You can borrow money for any reason. Now, how many of you know, some of y'all sitting across, you're like, okay, what's this really going to cost, right? You know something's coming. And so here are my terms. These are not negotiable for those of you who like to negotiate. This is one of those times where this is a take it or leave it offer. Again, if you do, some of you, because of the occupation, if you fail to learn how to use them adequately, you will not succeed at this game. They are 120% APR. Oh my God! I'm not going to do that. How many of you just said that to your head? You just said that to yourself. That's just too much money. I'm not doing it. All right? Understand. It's not going to get any better, by the way. They are interest only. Oh, no. This sounds like something I heard on the news. What does that mean? That means when you pay me interest, it does not pay down the principal. You must pay that separately. They are 120% interest-only loans. And then, lastly, you borrow in $1,000 increments only, meaning you can't say, I just want $25. No. It's increments of 1,000. You borrow in 1,000 and you pay in 1,000. So I'm going to give you what the numbers look like. The numbers look like this. If you say, Jay, I'd like to borrow $10,000. Here's how it works for you. You borrow that $10,000, you owe me 120% APR. APR stands for annual percentage rate. So 120% is the same as 10% per month. What is 10% of $10,000? $1,000. Your monthly payment of interest is therefore $1,000. Every time you pass paycheck, you must pay an additional $1,000, add an additional $1,000 to your expenses. Okay? That's what must happen. You can also pay it off in increments of $1,000 as well. This $1,000 is interest. So when you pay it, that doesn't mean the balance becomes $9,000. It's interest. It stays at $10,000 until you say to the banker, here is $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 that I am paying towards the balance. When you pay the balance down, then and only then does the payment change. If you don't pay the balance down, the payment stays the same. Are we clear? Yes. All right. So some of you have said, that's too much money. There's no way that works. One of the things to learn is it's not solely about the interest rate. Borrowing money, the key to understanding borrowing money is what you do with the money that's borrowed, not necessarily how much you're paying for what is borrowed. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying pay 120% if you can avoid it, but hear me clearly. If you borrowed at 120%, but you knew how to make 360%, how many of you would take that deal? How many of you would not? You're like, let me try that again. You knew how to earn 360%, but it would cost you 120%. How many of you would do that? How many of you would not? Okay, that's my point. It's not about how much money you pay all the time. It's about understanding what you do with the borrowed money. The bank loans exist for everybody under those conditions all the time for any reason. All right? I'm going to see what you do with it. Ready? Begin. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah, just go for it. I mean, at the end of the day, what we're going to do is turn on airplane mode. And go to the camera, video, and that puts in the, yep, so that mode, yep, it's there. And you can change the angle here. That part changes the angle, and you obviously you can have the camera face to them, or you can just change the. Yeah, you can do it however. You can do it that way, or you can do it with the other camera, that way. Either way, it just gives us a different. Gives you something more visual when you're cutting it all together later. Gives you something. Something that we've not actually had before. Whoa. The monthly paycheck is actually on the cash. That's correct.
So you could do two ways if you wanted. If you wanted to, you could get the whole picture.
You good now? Yeah. Hold on. What?
Yeah, you know other places.
Got it.
Yeah, you know other
So read this first. Does it matter? Okay. So we need to pay off money. We need to pay off some expenses before I do so. Mortgage, taxes, okay.
I'm good. Where? Oh, you said you sent me a gift. Where do I need to go find it?
I think it should be in the J. Massey at West Egg Enterprises.
Got it.
I can always pay you off.
All right. Cool.
And by the way, it's because you said one thing one time. I don't think you've ever repeated this particular statement since. And I hope I got it right.
Okay. All right. We'll figure it out. Oh, sorry, sir.
You find a great deal.
Yeah, he doesn't have to want to buy. If you want to sell, you can sell. If you want to sell, sell.
No one has that. Now, does anyone have a
Okay, but he didn't give the bank $50,000. So that means he owes the bank.
What happened? What happened?
Ask your question.
I'm asking, okay, you got this $50,000 house. You didn't put anything down for it. He's got his cash flow income. I understand that. But you still owe the bank $50,000 for the house.
Correct.
They're not giving houses away for free.
Correct. That's where the
he's
mortgage
telling me
is. The
he
mortgage
doesn't have to put anything down for his expense for the mortgage.
Correct, because in the same way that cash flow is $100,
Right.
rent is more than that, right?
Right.
So the game and this card has already calculated the rent, the property taxes, and
So
all
they
the
offset
management.
each other.
So this has already been done. So the net difference is $100
Okay.
already there. The mortgage payment. Yeah, you just don't physically see it. The game has done the mortgage
They've done the
piece.
calculation for us.
Correct. To make it simple so that we can go out and make that happen. It's not saying it's not there. It's yeah, you're like, hold on, something's missing.
Right. Well, because it doesn't say that it's been rented out, so how we don't know, we don't have all the details,
Well,
right?
what he's saying is by virtue of the fact that there's $100 cash flow.
We
Bingo.
should automatically know.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly. That's exactly
Okay,
right.
forgive me. For my lack of understanding.
roll one or two dice?
Two dice in a circle. But yeah, and that's fine. So that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
You're thinking exactly correctly.
Okay.
Remember, it's a game, and there are lots of extra complications that are required. Yeah. However, you can't put that in a game and make it work.
Right. Simplify it.
But well, that's fine. Oh, don't worry. Every time there's folks like us at the table, y'all always call me. Hey, something missing here. So it's no big deal. I'm used to it. I just like, okay, let me help here, and that's fine.
Okay,
It's
I
just
appreciate
already
it.
calculated
Appreciate the
there.
clarification.
Now you're good. Okay.
Here it's already calculated in the game.
Yeah.
ROI, but it wasn't making any sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when I realized it was $100 cash flow.
Right.
Right.
So there had to have been other reactions going on
Right.
there to have been a cash
Right.
flow.
Right.
Exactly.
Something
So
was paid somewhere. And
Right.
I said, okay, so I'm going to accept
We're just trying to
that.
figure.
And
Yep.
Will got it because Will's played the game.
He played the game
Got it.
for us.
Yeah.
You know, why don't you tell us, Will?
He's trying to figure it out.
It's insider trading.
Hey, insider trading's allowed in real estate.
No, 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 no.
All I know is, oftentimes the kids get this game a lot faster than the adults, and they get it. It just happens. So just know that that's awesome. Good job, son. Let's make it happen, guys. Is that, you like it? You happy? Yeah, you're having fun. You're in your own little fun world right now. You're actually gonna use this in some way, shape, or form. I'm gonna see it again. I'm gonna see it again. I'm gonna see it again. I know. Uh-oh. Whose card is it? Hers. All right. So the first question is do you want it?
I don't know what to consider.
The first question is do you want it? Let's answer that question.
Yeah, I want to buy property.
Okay, got it. Stop. That's all I want. Now let's look at it. In general, when you want to buy property, what would you like it to do? Give you money or take money away? It's a simple question. Yeah, I know. She's like, is it really that simple? Yes, I'm making it simple. So is that positive or negative?
Positive.
Excellent. So is that a number you're $500? $500 cash flow, is that something that you would want?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So now the question becomes is what is it going to take for you to get it? The down payment is $15,000. Do you have it?
Yeah.
You okay?
I don't know. Yeah.
You don't nope. You don't. So, I'm going to ask again. Do you want it? Because if you want it, looks like you're going to have to borrow from the bank, mind you, at 120% interest, as I said before, in order to make it work. It's up to you. You borrow in $1,000 increments.
I borrow what?
In increments of $1,000. There's no wrong answer. It's a game.
Okay.
No one's gonna know, except the people here at this table, and they're all your friends.
How much money do you have? Let's start with that. Yeah, count how much money do you have?
Let's worry about the big ones. Yeah. 13, 14, 5, 6, 7. Uh-huh. So you would have enough money. You wouldn't have to borrow any additional money, but you would have no cash. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I'm on a paycheck.
Because you almost what?
Paycheck.
Oh, you're almost on paycheck. Okay, great. Whatever the reason. As I said, know why you buy or why you don't buy. That's all I cared about. All right. Nothing else needed. Awesome.
He can buy.
I have to pay $60,000.
Wait.
Strawberries. Didn't know that was there. I want a lot of them. Are you kidding? I love strawberries, man. Thank you. She rolled those dice like she had experience. Did you see that? Did you see that? Is that?
Put it up on the roof.
Oh, good. Many different creative things can come from this. Yay! We actually might have some good-looking stuff. Oh, wait, we already do. Oh, wait. We've already covered that. What I was trying to tell you. I'm like, oh my God, is that on a phone? It makes no sense. It's on my phone. I'm like, what? It's on my phone. When I saw that, I was like, it made me mad because I paid a lot more for those. On my phone.
The future. What's that? What? All right. Jake, you ready?
Okay, hand is up. Nice colors. Is that diesel? Your watch.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I'm like, hold on. That looks familiar. That's the female, smaller version, isn't it? Yeah. I'm like, I have a black one, but I've seen that same face before. That's why I was asking, and I love the materials. Thank you. Now, I said it before, you tend to remember more when you participate in a discussion, so we're going to have a small session of discussion. How many of you have thus far been able to purchase at least one piece of real estate in the game? Keep your hand up. Keep your hand up. Oh, she's like, me. Awesome. Excellent. How was that experience? She obviously is having fun. She's just grinning from ear to ear, right? She's like, yeah. How many of you who have purchased at least one would like at least one more? Exactly. How many of you, thank you. How many of you have been able to purchase stock or mutual funds or anything of that nature in the game so far? Excellent. How many of you have sold stock or mutual funds so far? How was that? That you kind of like that, huh? That was good. She's like, I want to do that again. Totally. That's my point. Was it anywhere near as complicated as you've made it in your head? No, not really. You can let things be that simple. That's for sure. So I have a question for you. What have you learned? Share with everybody one thing that you have learned so far from playing the game. Right here, RJ. Hold on one second. I want to make sure that the people who are watching across the world, they get to hear you. Yes. Go for it. You finished chewing the strawberries. Go for it. Yeah. Oh, now he's going to take some water. It's all good. We're just waiting on you. It's only.
All right.
It's your show, man. It's your show.
I learned from.
It's on. It's not on in here. It's just on so they can hear you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, I learned from. I only purchased a 3-bedroom, 2-house
He only purchased. Did you hear that? Does that not tell us his mental mindset? It tells us that in his words, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath is small. So he's probably wishing he had an apartment building. But keep going.
I did. But what it taught me in the circumstance I'm in now in real life is that, like, really money, you already smart enough to do something. You just don't, and you already are who you want to become. You just have to just do the work and get the money, and you'll learn. You don't have to. It's not complicated as it seems. You just gotta have the money to like buy stuff. It's like going to the store picking out groceries. It's like you can go out to the market and pick out good investments. And that's what I just kind of picked up on.
Excellent. Good job. Give him a round of applause. Up here in Woodland Hills, you have a marketplace. Down in Mission Viejo, where I live, it's a different marketplace. At your table, for the purposes of the game, is a marketplace. This is another marketplace, and different things are happening at different times, but it's all very similar. And it's the same thing is true. Every time you go outside these doors, you're presented with opportunities. You just don't know how to recognize them yet. They just don't come conveniently in your email saying, opportunity, open me. Does that make sense? And you have to learn how to recognize those opportunities. And that's one of the things that's here. I want to draw your attention to the circles on the game board for a second. What color square do you see the most of? Green. You see more green squares, and that green square says what? Opportunity. That's code for there's a lot of it out there. You just don't know how to recognize it at all. Every day. This has been this way for a long time, and one of the things that's happening for some of you is that you're being trained on how to recognize opportunity. And when you leave here, you will not be the same because you'll be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And that's fine. That's normal, actually, of what happens. And you start to seek a way to express taking action on what it is that you now see. And we'll talk about what that means later. But for right now, understand that this is part of the process. Because as we plant these ideas, as this game continues to show you how to recognize opportunity, you should see new things when you leave here. You should be different. When you go home and you talk to your spouse, significant other, or friends, and they're like, oh my God, what happened to her? That's normal. Okay, what else are you learning? Someone else, anyone. Yes, all right, Justin, hold on. Here you go. Stand. Thank you.
Taking a risk to make what may be a very beneficial decision.
Whoa, say that loud, because I can hear in your voice that you don't do that often.
Yeah.
Say it loud and proud.
Taking a risk to buy something, an investment or a property, is something that in the long term could be very beneficial.
It can?
Yes.
It didn't hurt?
No.
Taking a risk and you didn't die?
Right. Exactly.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Check his pulse. Give him a round of applause. How many times have you been at that decision point? Should I, shouldn't I, should I, shouldn't I, shouldn't I? I can't do it. How many times have you done that? And you just later, you go, dang it, I should have, because you see what happened, right? We have so many I should haves in our lives. Interesting, for most of you in this room, you know what we are? We are I cans. Listen to what I said. We are I cans. We're not I can'ts. It doesn't work. That means we've got to take a risk occasionally. Take calculated risks. I bet you he didn't bet the farm on everything. He was like, okay, I'll try a little and see what happens. Mind you, this isn't a game. But that's okay. He took a risk, and it worked out. Now, do all risks work out? Shake your head no. Because how many of you have been in a car accident at least once? Guess what? When you leave here, you're taking a risk. You just didn't perceive it that way. Now you're going to be driving all slow and different when you go home, right? But that's a risk. You take risks every day. You just don't interpret them as risks anymore. How many of you have been driving for at least a year? Okay, at least, right? And every time you get in that vehicle, it's a risk. Now, let me ask you this. How many of you would love to drive an Audi S8? If you don't, you're like, what's that? Think 450 horsepower on a V8, V10, V12 engine, really nice, really cool speakers. All right? You would like that? That sounds like a little bit of fun to you, right? How many of you still want to drive that car if it had no steering wheel? What if it had no seat belts? No brakes? Do you get where I'm going? It's still a car, but all the instruments and tools that we use to make it safe and drivable. Even worse. What's that? It can be replaced. You're right. It can be fixed. I got it. I know where you were going. I knew that. But here's my point. Many times we get into a vehicle and we don't even understand how to drive it. Learning how to use paper assets is a vehicle. But guess what? Before you got behind the wheel of the car, mom, dad taught you how to drive it. The challenge for most of us is when we get behind the wheel of a financial instrument, mom and dad aren't capable of teaching us how to use it. So we have to go somewhere else. Traditionally, when it comes to driving, it's called driver's ed, right? Today, we have other resources and tools to help us understand how to drive financial instruments. And occasionally that costs money. And you're like, it costs money. It's got to be a scam. Okay. The scam is you believing that you can do it on your own. You can operate high-quality machinery without understanding it at all. We all want to earn the income levels of doctors and above and all these people. But we don't want to do what they do to learn how to operate the things that they operate. I find that interesting. My point in sharing this with you is just to help you understand that with the right safeties and controls, stock market is fine. Real estate's fine. Just don't operate blind. Would you drive with a blindfold on? Not for long. It wouldn't go well. And now does that suddenly sound like why your 401k might have turned into a 201k? It's the same thing. You've been driving with blinders on and you don't even know how to recognize the signs. What about driving? You remember, could you imagine driving with no street signs, no stop lights? Some of you like, yeah, I remember that, right? You know, because it's not like they haven't always been around. The stop sign was invented because we didn't. Somebody had to tell us. And some of you are still treating it as an optional thing. And that's part of the problem. Okay? So what I'm saying is you've got to learn the signs in the marketplace as well. When to go, how fast to go, when to stop. All of these things are there. You just got to know how to interpret them. And this game is a way of beginning to open your mind to that. Does that make sense? Yeah. Someone in the back, something you've learned. Where's Mike? I've got to get back there somehow. So I'm coming. Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Someone at James's table. That'd be perfect. Somebody learned at least one something.
What did you learn?
Yes, there you go. What's your name?
Sammy.
Hi, Sammy. How you doing? Excellent.
Good.
Go ahead.
I think I learned.
You think
Not
you
sure
learned?
yet. Because it's kind of a risk. You know, the risk is, you know how you were just talking right now about calculated risk?
Yes.
And I'm not sure if I'm very calculated because I'm completely broke and I owe money. But I bought a duplex.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah, so we'll see.
But I'm learning to take a risk.
Yeah, got it. Here's the point. I love this. Here's what I love about it. Some of you, unless you know the exact square footage that is pertained in the kitchen, in the dining room, what the roof is made of, and all the other things that go along with it, until you understand exactly where the wood came from for that rental property, you will not write the contract or take action. Others of you, you just jump in and let's see what happens. I am a jump in and let's see what happens kind of guy. Now, it drives all the people over here nuts. Trust me, because they are not, especially him. I drive him nuts because I just go, okay, let's do it. And they know that really means Jay's going down this. We better catch up somehow. Go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll see further. Go as far as you can see. Always, 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 when you are at the scene of a decision, take measurable action towards it. I don't care how small, take some action towards it. And that's what she's doing. She's trying to figure it out on the way, and that's okay. Figure it out. The best place to do that is in a simulator. Where did I say is better to crash? In the simulator. She may crash. That's okay. But here's the thing that she will gain, and this is my entire point. There are two things you cannot do simultaneously. How many? Two. You cannot learn and look good at the same time. And unfortunately, too many of us are addicted to looking good, especially in LA. Therefore, we don't learn. I have 4 children. How many? Pray for me. Right? 3 girls. Pray more. 1 boy, and he is currently 3. When he learns, as he's learning to walk and run and do all these things, does he occasionally fall? Yes. Doesn't he occasionally hit his head on every sharp object it can find? At that moment, does he look good? Not at all. But does he sit back down and say, you know what, Dad, I'm just not going to learn to walk. I can't do it. I'm not going to try. This is too hard. Walking must not be for me. I tried that walking thing once and I fell. Didn't you see that? I fell. You're asking me to walk again, but I fell that last time. And too many of us are stuck in the past about financial mistakes to be able to take the action necessary we need to do today to correct what was done before. Yeah, you fell. So what? We all fall. No one learns anything perfectly. We all fall many times. I've heard it said that some men fall 7 times, but he gets up again, and that's all that matters. Getting up again. And I'm hoping that this game will help you find a way to say, you know what, maybe I should get up again. Maybe it's worth rolling the dice one more time, because see, that's exactly what we don't do too many times when we experience failure. That hurt. I don't want to roll. I don't want to chance it. It might come up wrong and I'd have to deal with something. You cannot learn and look good at the same time. However, how many of you are willing to admit that you've fallen at least once, but from that falling, you arose something bigger, something better that would have never occurred unless you had fallen? Has that ever happened to you? But yet it's the one thing we run from. Now, what does that mean? I mean that you should get 6 Fs really fast. You should fail forward, fail fast, and fail frequently. That's what you should be doing. Instead, even in the game, I can't get you to take a risk. Please, now is the time. All right? So, what we're going to do is I'm not going to change the rules just yet, but I have a question for you. Here it is. The question is, do you know someone, by a show of hands, do you know someone that could benefit from playing this game, even though you've been playing a short time? Do you know someone? Yes? Yeah? If you do, excellent. Let me ask you this again, by a show of hands. Are you willing to invite them when they're playing this game again here? Are you willing to invite them to come play? All right, keep your hand up. Keep your hand up if you are willing to invite them. All right, bankers, note the people who have their hands up, and do me a favor. All the ones with their hands up, give them $10,000. Awesome. Get back to playing. Make it happen. I just gave you 10 grand. I want to see what you do with it.
It's a nice little incentivizer, huh? It's good stuff.
Just planting the seed you want me to. Yeah, go ahead and play. Go ahead and play.
Okay, so now you can roll 3 dice when it's your turn, okay? So what color are you?
So it's possible you
I've
could
seen them as high as $200, as low as like $80. It just depends on where you buy from. Yeah, sure. I don't sell the games. They're not my games. You can buy them on any. Yeah. No, but it was first right now. Yes, ma'am.
Question.
How can I help you?
So, remember I sent you.
Sorry, I'm a little excited.
Okay, I see. Remember I sent you the question on Facebook about the VIP sales training?
Yes.
Video?
What did I say? What was the answer?
You told me to wait for the webinar.
On Friday. Yes, because it was included inside.
Yeah,
It's
but
in
that is not. I can't do that right now. So I'm trying to.
the VIP sales training by itself is half price. That's why it is the training by itself. That one training is $19.97. That's why it's included with the multifamily, so that you can have that as well as you have all the video courses at that point. So you have all of the video courses plus there's been 12 weeks plus you have the association class, which would be another $24.97. If you want to worry about any of those, you'll have literally everything I've ever created from a video standpoint, which is a duplication of my exact business.
So I don't have that right now. But so I'm just trying to figure out a way to get some more information about dealing with private teams.
What part am I missing?
Well, I was talking to someone. Okay, so what questions are you asking? I want to make sure I'm asking the right questions, so that and make sure I'm not giving that information. Giving too much information too soon, overwhelming the person. I have a meeting coming up later next week, and I don't want to just bombard her with information.
I'm trying to remember what module that's in the raising private capital. Module 8 is raising the bill. I just don't remember. Because there was one of those where I went through that exact series. Well, it's definitely in the VIP training because that's all it's about. That's all it's about. It's about that in and of itself. I break it down, these with the scripts and the step by step, but it's also because I had more time for 4 hours for that. I think it's module 7 is probably the one that actually had the question, and we put it in there for that specific purpose. And I was talking about the profit analysis part and how to break it down because they were asking me, what do you say when they come and sit with you at Starbucks? And that's where that conversation comes.
So I have a couple questions. The next question is, the introduction was really short. It was just like, hi, I saw your sign. He's like, the sign on my laptop. Hi, I saw your sign.
Oh, good.
I'm really interested in talking about this. What do you do? I said, I'm a real estate investor. She's like, I gotta go, but I'm gonna call you next week to set up an appointment. So I'm like, okay.
And when she said that, what did you do?
I said, okay, great. Here's my card. What do you do?
Got it.
And she said she's in real estate.
Got it.
And so then, pretty much when she's like, she was in her 50s.
And you've never heard from her again?
Well, this was just like yesterday.
Okay, got it.
Is that considered like one? I know the SEC has conflict of interest. Is that considered one meeting?
Yeah, I'm not worried. By the time you get to the point, if you follow everything that you don't need to worry about. Here's what's important. The next time that happens, don't say really great. What do you do? Ask them really why. Why did, because she said she wanted to have an appointment. But why?
She was in a hurry, and I was like, okay.
You don't let them, I'm in a hurry, stop you from asking, because you still don't know. Now that's what you got to do when that happens. Because that's what that, by the way, good job on just actually doing those silly things that sound silly, but they work. And when that happens, you've got to get to really why she wanted to have an appointment for a reason. And that's what we don't know. And because you don't know, it's kind of no. No, you ask then because that's how you get them to come to the meeting.
Okay.
That's how you get the meeting in the first place to actually happen.
So that's why I'm like, I don't know what to do.
That's
I'm just
no. You did
sitting
it
at
right.
Starbucks.
You did it right. You just got to refine that. Remember, you learned. You did something completely new. You just didn't do it all the way. Go do exactly what you just did again. But the next time that happens, instead of going, okay, that's great, give them a card, you go, okay, that makes sense. Could you tell me what you were hoping we talk about at that meeting? And then take notes. Then give them a card, and then set that on the calendar, and then do all that. I mean, you don't know why. They're, they have, and they haven't told you. It's hard to get that meeting. You always want to know why. Just like in the game, know why you bought, know why you don't buy. Why are they buying the appointment? Why are they not buying the appointment? Find that out.
I think I just forgot one of my other
Fine, I'll be here for more hours.
Another question is, I want to go do a Cashflow game and a retirement game.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I wouldn't be using the quadrant with the E, the S, the E and the I.
They're the eyes. They're the eyes.
Okay. Are there any recommendations for dealing with seniors as opposed to dealing with...
Never be as high energy as I am right now. There are many recommendations, but the main ones don't be as high. I'm high energy right now because I'm making sure I can relate to everybody as well. What I'm saying is, you gotta adapt to the person. They're gonna move fast, they're gonna move slower, and we have entire cases different. And that's different. And the same thing right here. We gotta recognize. So they move at a different pace. You're significantly younger. And that in their mind, you're their granddaughter. That's going to be an uphill battle. Now, that's nothing you can teach about that. It is what it is. So you're going to have to really stress the competency and make sure that they know that you know what you're talking about. Not by talking at them, but making sure you answer all of their questions. And that's the part I tend to struggle with, the patiently possible part, but
Yeah, I mean, I've done one before.
Okay. So that part doesn't really change. Most of them are going to be best in quadrant 3. Most of them are going to be best in quadrant 3.
To get back to, well, let me finish. Okay, so should I do like an example of like the CD and inflation?
Yeah, that would work.
Okay. Oh, you got a brother, man. And for the lady, I'm supposed to be meeting next week. Do I show her the quadrant, the P and Q?
I always do.
Okay. I didn't know because I asked Ray and Ray said show him the first time. I asked Seth and Seth said show him the next time.
Well, hold on. This is the first time you're meeting. Oh, got it. This is the very. You've never played Cashflow. Yeah. No, this is not the second time. Whatever that might be. Right now, you need to get your investment in. That's what you don't know. So the box you're in is the investor identity. Right now, you don't know. And even more, she didn't even know why she wants to meet her. Because she was thinking something at that moment. And that's what you don't know. So you got to back up, go get that, and go, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Because you don't know what's going to happen to you when you show up at this meeting. So she could say, okay, cool, and then she brought 15 of her friends. She's like, okay, now go. You're like, about what?
So what am I to show her what it was like?
You didn't ask her why the
Right.
board.
So I should find out her investor identity.
You can't do anything until you know why she wanted to meet. So you have no information. Everything else is a guess. You're guessing. I don't know. Bring a blank notepad
She
and
said
show
she
up.
was looking to invest.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
To her. At this moment in time.
Yeah.
And what else has she already done? And why did she pick you out?
Those are some of the questions I was going to ask.
But you got to ask some of them before the appointment because that gives her the extra incentive to show up. She doesn't even know why she said that. She just knows that, oh yeah, that investment thing. But when you get that clarity from her, she now knows that I don't show up at this appointment, I may not get these questions answered. And it gives her a reason to drive across town and where she's got to go to to meet you. Without that,
I guess I'm a little confused on the steps.
You're doing the steps.
Okay.
The only thing you missed is finding out why you wanted to meet you. You did everything else fine. Go there, attract the individuals. Once the individual's there, engage. You find out why they want to meet. Why have they ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? She skipped right past that and volunteered that, but you still got to get to the really why. Okay, why do you want to meet? Makes sense. Perfect. Let's do it. Done. And then you meet, and then you give her investor identity, and then after that, it's going to be either a cash flow game or you're going to do the property analysis quadrant or whatever, and then there you go.
Is that 3 separate meetings? The introduction?
Usually.
So the property analysis quadrant is last.
That is correct.
Okay. So I know you saying to like just go out there. I want to put like I want to put a contract on this property I saw. And this is an opportunity.
You want to, and you didn't.
I did.
Because
I don't have money yet. But I know that's not your policy.
You know that. That's why you're hesitating and even saying the words. Like, I know what he's going to say. So what do you want me to do? Tell you that it's okay to not do that? Okay then.
But obviously there's a lot of rehab. So how would I structure it to like have if stove breaks down? How much money do you put aside for like
Walmart, Target, or Nordstrom?
It's Walmart.
Yes, and this is a single family house?
No, it's a 24 unit and it's 2.5 acres.
That's fine. There's lots of questions that go into that, but you got to write the offer. Knowing how much money to put aside for a stove has nothing to do with writing the offer. Let's write the offer. You don't. I don't care how much the stove costs. You don't own the building. Let's go write the offer. After the offer is written, then during that due diligence period, that's when we begin to focus on things like that. But we don't care about it.
So due diligence, how am I doing the due diligence from this state for Memphis?
You're not. Oh, from Memphis? Oh, it doesn't matter. Have you written an offer?
No, but I still want to know how to do it.
I know that. You want to know how to do all the steps before you take the first one. Okay. When?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it today.
By what time?
I'm going to do it after we get out of here.
Okay. And how long after getting out of here will it be done?
Well, within like an hour or two.
An hour or two. So 2 hours. This ends at 4. So by 6 p.m. Pacific time.
6. Okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow.
By what time?
I'm going to do it tomorrow by 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock Pacific time?
1 o'clock Pacific time.
Okay, Sandy, can you do me a favor? Can you post in the Raising Private Capital Facebook group that Sheena just committed to writing an offer by tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time? Yes, thank you. She said she's going to be writing an offer by tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and that we want everybody to cheer her on and hold her accountable. I know that. She didn't expect me to do that. She just thought it was going to be between me and her, and she could get away with it. And now I just put her out there, and she's like, "Oh, crud."
I put offers out before wholesaling, but it's different.
I know that. I know that.
I'm going to put it out.
It's all good.
Now I feel like I'm on the spot.
You are.
I'm going to put it out.
Good.
Can you answer my question?
What was that?
The due diligence.
As soon as you have it under contract.
All right.
Because it doesn't matter.
I'm going to get it under contract.
Okay, great. Can't wait.
All right. I know you said don't do like over 20, but
20 what? Oh, that's right. It is 24.
but I'm going to do it anyway.
Why are you not in the multifamily camp? That's why I make payments.
I spent like almost $20,000 on this, and I'm just running. I don't have any more. I mean, I would definitely do it if I had it, but I don't have it.
Go get it. Figure it out. That's why I make that's the exact person. That's why I was like, you know what? Not everybody's gonna have to say, I've got to figure out a way to. Okay, here's what we got.
Everybody's not going to have 24.
You have a week. If you can't get $24.97 a week, you are going to be really up a creek if you can't get a. How are you going to get 10,000? Why is that somehow easier?
That's for a house. What am I going to tell a lender?
This is what you think is more important. Okay then. If you can do it for a building, which is the least of the least, IMTV, are you serious? Don't try, find it. Remove the word try. That's like saying, I'm going to try to write the offer.
No, I'm going to do that.
Good.
By tomorrow, 1 o'clock.
1 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you. Cool. Not going to make it happen. I take it that seriously because I was in the mindset of, I'm going to try to find the money. I'm going to try to do this. I know you can. You just may have never done it. That's fine. I know you can. But that's exactly why I'm doing this course now. Because this is the piece that's been missing that Seth has been looking for all year. I'm just like, dude. Oh, I had to get all the other pieces in place so that I can point to this, and now it's boom. Here we go. Make it happen. All right. Thank you. You're on blast now. Everybody knows. No.
They're in the throes of it now, huh?
Yeah, now it's good.
It's going well.
Yes. This is
Good,
normal.
good, man.
Now we're about to change it up and make it crazy.
Uh-oh.
Take the break. I'm going to call the guy.
Oh, even better. Hey. Yeah, I know. I got it. It's a unique skill I have, I guess. Awesome. All right, you ready? Hand is up. Thank you. Now, we played a little bit further. Some of you, I gave you $10,000 and you were all kinds of excited, weren't you? How many of you are still holding on to that $10,000 ain't done nothing with it? Why? Why? I don't understand. Hold on, let's talk about this for a second. Didn't you say to yourself, if I had more money, I wouldn't have this problem? I gave you more money. You have the same problem you had before I gave you the money. What's the problem then? You just like to collect money. Okay, ooh, money, yay. What are you going to do? Hear me clearly. Hear me clearly. Money is a tool. How useful is a hammer on a shelf? Does it do anything on a shelf? Even worse, a hammer in the hands of a person who doesn't know how to use it. What is that called? A weapon. A hammer in the hands of a carpenter, and it becomes a building and a magnificent structure. Money is the same. It's a tool. When it's wielded by someone who doesn't know what they're doing, it either A, sits on the shelf and rots, or B, becomes a weapon, and in some cases of mass destruction. It's not just about having access to the tools. It's about also understanding how to take an expert tool and use it expertly. That's what the game is supposed to be teaching you. But yet, I gave you 10 grand and you're still sitting on it. What do you think it's going to do? It's going to fly away or something? Use it. Now, you can't take it with you. That's right. When you leave this room, the money stays here. Okay. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So you have it for the moment. You might as well use it and figure out what to do with it before it comes to you in real life and you're like, same kind of confusion. What do I do? Now, I said this game was going to simulate real life. So far, it's been kind of safe and controllable. You kind of got this, right? Right now, you're like, I know what's going on. Is real life ever that way? Like, you're like, and if it is, does it stay that way for long? No. Something happens. CNN, constant negative news, comes on and says, this just exploded. The marketplace, this and that. And you're like, oh my God, now I've got to make completely different decisions. And I've never been in this environment before. What do I do? Guess what? We're going to change things up a bit. We're going to have some fun. Here's what that means. That means I am going to do things that simulate market run-up and downs, and you're not going to know what's going to happen from one time to the next, and you've got to do your best to still navigate the financial waters, get out of the rat race, and make these things happen. What does that mean? How many of us can remember back in 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, and all you had to do was breathe and you got a loan? And in some cases, your dead cat got one too. Right? So, Scott, need 2 minutes on the clock. 2 minutes on the clock. For the next 2 minutes, here's what I am going to do. Real estate deals only have no down payment. The bank is going to subsidize. We're doing quantitative easing over here. And we're going to erase those down payments. So if there's a down payment on a real estate card, you can treat it as if it says 0. Okay? And you can buy the piece of real estate. All real estate for the next 2 minutes will be no money down deals. Ready? Begin. I gave no rhyme. Drew. Unmute me so I can talk to them. Oh. Talk to them right now? I've been talking to them is what you're telling me, and I didn't know it. Got it. Yes. Charity, it's 10% of your total income, and you get to roll one extra dice for 3 consecutive turns. That's it. You just get an extra dice for 3 consecutive turns. Yeah, you can donate or not. 20 seconds left. Ish. Oh, okay. 10. Yeah, I'll do that in a second. Hey, Drew, you here? Okay. Hey, guys, you just saw me give them the opportunity to have no down payments. When you're out there doing that, I want you to watch how many people still choose a small deal versus a big deal. Now, mind you, there is no down payments on all real estate. Even though that's the case, their mindset limits them from choosing a big deal. Watch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand is up. I like the comments. That was fun. That's good. Hand is up. Your sheets are a mess. I know. I know. You're like, bankers hate me right now. It's all good. All right. Thank you. Thank you. It's all good. Thank you. Now, let me ask this question. What did I say? I said, for the next 2 minutes, real estate only, no down payments. So, sometimes the thing that limits us isn't the marketplace, isn't our access to money, it's our mindset, us. How many of you during those last 2 minutes was able to purchase at least one piece of real estate? Keep your hand up. Look around, a lot of people. Congratulations, good job. Hold on, don't put your hand down just yet. Keep your hand up if you purchased a small deal. Now, let me ask you this question. No, a small deal of real estate during that last 2 minutes. You've purchased a small deal. What did I say? I said all real estate has no down payments. So why did you choose a small deal? There was no limitation. You chose the small deal. Thank you. You chose a small deal. Aren't there big deals aren't there real estate in the big deal pile? Oh yeah. Some of you are kicking yourself right now. You thought if I had money, things would be better, but I just showed you that even when you had access to you needed nothing. Nothing. You still chose a different investment than now that you've had this painful lesson. You'll probably choose differently next time. Does that make sense? Now, here's what we're going to do. Just like we had the run up, what happened after that? Chaos. Chaos. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. For the next 15 minutes, single family houses cannot be sold because there's no financing. If you happen to have an apartment complex, however, you can totally sell that bad boy all day long. Down payments are back to normal. And for fun, here's what we're going to really do that's going to make it lots of crazy. Bankers, sorry. Your income statement and balance sheet. Susan, is it important that they stay on top of these numbers? Yes, please. She's like stressed out. She's like, oh, help her. Okay? But because it would help her do her job. Here's the point. In real life, do I have to wait for Max to buy a piece of real estate before I buy my second one? No. Do I have to wait for Jamal to buy his next stock before I buy my next one? No, I don't. There's no rule that says wait your turn. So this is what we're going to do. Here, there's a good thing and there's a bad side to this. So hear me clearly. So long as your income statement and balance sheet are correct, in order, I'm still trying to figure it out, you can go. There is no terms. The dice are available, you can go. Hold on, I like this guy. Hear me clearly. If your auditor catches you in a mistake or an error, so whoever has Susan as an auditor, I'm sorry. However, if your auditor catches you, you will lose 100% of all of your real estate as a penalty. So, if your numbers are correct, go. If they aren't, you might want to start writing. So you can go as many times as you want, long as the dice are available. Have fun with that. Houses, no selling the single family houses for 15 minutes. that the time? It's supposed to stop at 4. I didn't realize that. I'm about 30 minutes behind in my head. Oh.
How long is it typically which round 2 and then secondly, but you can rearrange and secondly, I'm having trouble finding a place to go. For the rest of the
Guys, as you can tell, this game is a little bit longer than normal, and that's fine. Because especially considering the size and the number of individuals I've got to walk through the game. Your games probably, especially as there are only like 6 or 12 people, probably going to be no more than 2 hours. And you want to get in, get out, quote unquote, quickly. I spent extra time on the front end. I'm going to spend some extra time on the back end, as you'll see in a second. Here's the key. What I'm about to go through later towards the back end, this is the part of how you close the individuals into meeting with you later. Inside of our system, it's always meeting them at Starbucks or your house or whatever. You're going to show them the profit analysis quadrant. So the sequence of words and verbs that I'm about to go through is what's going to close the appointments for you and for many other people. So just keep that in mind as you're out there doing your games, that this is the magic spot. So you did all of this seed planting. And if you've been paying attention, you hear where I'm planting seeds. Planting seeds. And now that I've planted seeds, now that I've given, now that I've shared and educated, we're going to go out there and see which seeds are ready for harvest, and those that are, they'll come to the top, and we'll be able to go from there to continue to make things happen. So hopefully keep typing your questions. Glad that you are watching, and let us know if there's anything else I can answer for you. Talk to you soon. Where's Mo?
Thank you.
I know. That's why I do it. That's why we start at the beginning before we let the chaos happen. That's why we do it this way. Thank you. How many of you have realized that there's a line at the bank? You're like, oh my God. I told you we were going to simulate real life, right? When you go to the bank, now you know why there's a line. It's because nobody's waiting their turn. It was all nice and calm and peaceful. The bankers was like, I can do this. This is easy. And now it's like, people want money. Turn it off. Is it 5 o'clock yet? When can I go home? Anyway, here's my point. I want to know that the main thing here is, have you learned something today? Yes or yes? Yes. Thank you. That's the point. Now, if you take your sheet of paper, because I made you a promise earlier, and I'm going to make sure that you fulfill on that. On the back, you should have a blank sheet of paper. On that back, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the next 3 minutes. How many? 3 minutes. And what you're going to do is in that 3 minutes of time, what I want you to write down is three. How many? Three things that you learned today from playing the game today. All I want you to do is to take 3 minutes, write down 3 things that you learned today from playing the game today. Ready? Begin.
That could be a very important lesson. I don't want that kind of pressure. Every Friday I come and I want their lunch.
3 minutes. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct, you A students. Just get it out of your head on a piece of paper. Done is better than perfect. Learn that one well. It'll serve you. What's that? What's that for? What are they referencing? Okay. Hey, I'll just introduce you at the end and we're good. And you can do your thing. Let me do my thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do that too. Sure. 3 minutes done? 1 minute left. 1 minute left. Don't worry about punctuation. Just 3 ideas. Get them on paper. Okay. Who's not finished? Okay, good. Everyone's done. Excellent. So here's what we're going to do. Now that you've got your 3 things, I told you if you want to increase your retention, because remember, I'm back on the cone of learning. We've got to increase your attention. One of the best ways to learn something is to teach it, right? Isn't that what I said? Yeah. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to, in a moment, when? In a moment, I want you to choose one person at your table to be your partner, preferably someone you are not related to. Choose someone at your table to be your partner. This should take at most 15 seconds to do. Ready? Begin. There you go. There you go. Okay. We should be good. Now, between the two of you, one of you choose to be partner A, and the other choose to be partner B. Between the two of you, one choose to be partner A, and the other choose to be partner B. Okay. So as a test, let's see if we can do this. A, you're a guy like that. Who are my partner Bs? Raise your hand. Partner B. See, this is a test. Make sure that we can at least divide ourselves into two. Partner Bs. Who are partner As? Raise your hand. Okay. Somebody didn't, y'all didn't, what's going on here? Who's partner A? So which one are you, A or B? Okay. A, okay, let's do this one more time. Bs. Okay, we're missing some people over here at this table now. I need to see, I want to make sure everybody's got a partner. Bs, thank you. A's. Okay, all right. So here's what we're going to do. Partner A, point to your partner B and say, ha, you're going first. Got it. So here's what I want you to do. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this one, and I believe you can execute it perfectly. What you are going to do is you are going to teach to your partner the 3 things you say you learned. Why they made a difference to you, how you think you could use them, where you'll be able to execute them. What you're going to do is a form of public speaking, but only to one person. See? We start you off small, and then you go bigger after that. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes to execute this. At about 2.5 minutes, we're going to switch. So all I want you to do is to teach to your partner, partner B, you're going first. Teach to your partner A the 3 things that you wrote down on that sheet of paper and why they were important. Ready? Begin. How much time's left? Switch. Make sure you switch. up. How many of you didn't realize that you were at a table with so many smart people? You're like, what? And how many of you learned something even in that little section from the person that you're like, oh yeah, we were at the same table. I didn't get that, but you did. Do you see my point? Do you see why you can't just play one time and go, oh, I got it all and I'm ready to rock? Every time I do this, no matter what country, no matter what state, no matter what time of day or day of the week, who's playing, it happens every time. There's so many things we don't know that we don't know. And you remember, you can't learn and look good at the same time. So in a game environment, it's the best place to experiment, have some fun, and figure these things out. So here's what I want to know. Who's learned something that they're absolutely excited about that they've got to share with everybody? 1, 2, 3, come up here. 4, up here. Excellent. They're like, what? I didn't know he was going to do that. No, come on. Yes, you raised your hand. Yes. What's her name? Tessie. Too late now. Come on. Here's the thing. No one is hoping you fail. They're all going, yeah, you're going to do great. Let's go. You can do it. Come on. Where's the microphone? Excellent. Come on. Oh, yes, by all means. Come on. 1, 2, 3, number 4, and you're 5. Excellent. Here we go. You're going to say nothing yet. I'm going to let them, you're going to learn from Max, okay? So he'll go first. Let him look stupid, and you learn, okay? He'll be fine. You can do this. I believe in you. All right. So just tell us something that you learned or what you learned from your partner or whatever you were so excited about. Go for it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I wasn't actually one of the players of one of the bankers, but...
Hold on. The banker? You're just watching.
Yeah.
And you still learn.
I know.
love
It's
it.
crazy.
Keep going.
But one thing I learned is you don't have to wait for anybody or anything to make money. It's all up to you. Whether it's a crappy situation or a great one, there's always an opportunity to be had, and we're the only thing stopping us from getting what we want. If you have no excuses, you have unlimited capabilities.
Excellent. Thank you. Give him a round of applause. What's the difference between a bad situation and a good one?
Mindset.
Your perspective. That's it. There is no difference. I told you in the video at the beginning that we were squatting in bank-owned property. That's called living somewhere you don't own. I could not walk and talk simultaneously. My wife could not eat or drink. How many of you call that a bad situation? So did I, until my perspective changed. I got nothing else to lose, so I might as well try something I've never done before. Because here's the point. I've yet to run into any person anywhere on the planet who wakes up and goes, you know what? I'm going to aim straight for the bottom today. Never happened. Therefore, what that means is your best ideas have resulted in what you currently call your life experience. And if you go, well, that's not nice, my life sucks, it's your fault. Because it was your decisions that put you there. And it will be your decisions that free you as well. See, many of the individuals here in this room, they're offering, we'll call them life rafts and parachutes. The only thing they're hoping you're willing to do is to participate in your own rescue. It's not that the life rafts aren't available. It's not like you can't get on them. We went through this. What happened? There was no down payments. No money required. You have an 850 FICO score. Everything's in the correct direction, and you still chose a small deal. Had nothing to do with anything other than your decisions. Your decisions have kept you in the rat race this entire game. How many of you are still holding on to that same $10,000 bill? Your decisions have kept you in the rat race. Nothing else. How many of you didn't get that $10,000 bill, but managed to still build more passive income? You didn't even get that $10,000 bill. It doesn't matter. It's how you're thinking about what's presented to you that is affecting you in ways that you can't even begin to fathom. And all we're trying to do is give you a shot at breaking that mold through a board game. Who's next? Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hello.
They can't hear you back there.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Right here. Right here.
One of the things.
Okay.
One of the things that.
Okay, let me help you. All right, here's what we're going to do. Okay. I'm going to give you a little bit of training. So here's what I want you to do. You see how you're standing foot together? I want you to stand like this. Okay, you're strong, you're proud, right? Now do me a favor. Are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right.
Right-handed? Okay, take your right foot and put it right here. Now put your weight on your front foot. Now put this mic right here. One hand. Smile. Yeah. There you go. Now, inhale and talk.
Okay. One of the things
Better.
that I learned was not to be scared to spend money now, so that it will pay off later. So.
Exactly. Nice. Give her a round of applause. Now, how many of you are scared to speak in public? Shake your hand, or raise your hand, right? Does it sound, do you think she was a little timid, at least, at the beginning? She's more, but you know what was the difference between the first way she was presenting herself and the second way? Training. I just showed her a few things to do to give her a little bit more confidence about what she was about to do. I didn't change the words, didn't change what she had to say. I just gave her a different way, different frame in those few seconds. A few seconds of training can make a lot of difference in someone's confidence. What do you think could happen with a few hours of training, sitting down with someone showing you how to use your financial tools in the positive direction? Keep that in mind. Excellent. Good job. Your turn. Yeah, she's ready now. See? Everybody like, I got this. No one. See? That's all it takes. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, for me, it was the risk, because with fear, we're always afraid of, if we get a chunk of money, we're afraid of using the money because we want to hold on to it, because we're afraid of losing it, so we just hold on to it. But just that risk and letting go of the fear of losing the money can pay out so well at the end.
Excellent. Letting go. Letting go. Interestingly enough, we start out in life on one side of the world, and then all of a sudden we see that the grass is over there and it looks a little green, and we say to ourselves, you know what, I'd like to be over there. That would be fun. You know, that looks like fun. You know what I'll do? I'll start walking that direction. But for some reason, we keep trying to hold on to the place where we are, and then we're wondering, how come I can't make it? You're not going to get there until you let go. And now you're like, oh, this is scary. I can't touch what's familiar. You can always run back. No one ever said you couldn't. And that's the whole point. As we continue to hold on to what's familiar, it becomes worth less. How many of you are willing to admit you can remember what you were earning in 1974? And today, when 1974, you were thinking, by the time I get to $50,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, we gonna make it, honey. It's gonna be awesome. And then you got there, and you're like, okay, by the time we get to $200,000, $250,000, we go. Do you get my point? In 1974, a stamp cost 10 cents. One, to mail a letter. A stamp. Today, what does it cost to mail one letter? What? He's like $1.44. Let's 42. Whatever. The point is, it's a stamp. And what did you get? The opportunity to communicate with someone over a long distance of time with a letter. My point is that $1.74 could send 10 letters. Today, you might get 2 if you're lucky. It's still the same dollar. It's not that the price increased. It's that your money purchases less. Failing to understand that and holding on to money means it becomes worth less over time. You must learn to become more financially savvy with the tools you've been given. As I said before, given an expert tool and learning how to use it expertly. One of the greatest things you can avail yourselves of is someone else's ideas. The solutions that you need are in someone else's head. Interestingly enough, we have organized ourselves in such a way that we tend to package those in books and tapes and CDs and appointments, and we will do whatever we've got to do to help you understand that. And that's one of the great things about reading, is that once you get it, you got access to other people's wisdom without having to go through their mistakes. The person who went through those mistakes paid full price for that lesson. And then they offer it to you at a severe discount in the form of a book or an ebook or a complimentary appointment. And you've got to understand that. There was one more person somewhere. Two more somewhere. I see one. Where's the other one? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're coming. Yes, come on, it's your turn. Now you know what to do, right? Did you see that? She said, sure, I can do this.
Yes, I can proceed.
Yes, see? That's all I was saying. It's not that bad. You good. Go for it.
Okay. It doesn't really matter how old you are, whether you're old, whether you're young or old. If the opportunity arises, take it. And don't take small risk, big risk. I learned it from my daughter. She just got out.
Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Lesson, that's my mama. I love it. I love it. I love it. How many of you have ever been, because I am, and I've done this before. How many of you have ever been a renter? You ever been a renter? Okay. Did you ever, before you wrote your rent check, go, I wonder how old my landlord is? Why not? Because it didn't matter. It didn't matter. What mattered is that they provided you clean, safe, affordable housing when you needed it. That's all that mattered. Had nothing to do with an age. Again, that's a limiting thinking thing, and it works on both sides of the spectrum. I've worked with individuals who are 18 or about to go to college going, am I too young to do this? Will people take me seriously? And then I go to the other side of the spectrum, and then what ends up happening, people go, am I too old? Is it too late? And I'm like, at the end of the day, just do the work. Do the work. Build the asset. Provide it. Let people take advantage of the products and services that you have available. No one cares. No one cares. If you are the one who is capable of providing that service, great. They don't care. They just want their problem solved. Could you imagine if you walked into an emergency room? You are bleeding profusely. You can't do anything, and the only doctor on staff comes out and looks as young as your son. Are you going to say, no, I'll wait till the morning for the old guy to come in? No, because you're going to die in the meantime. You don't care. And the same is true when it comes to providing services. But most of the people don't care. Can you prove to me that you have the ability to solve my problem? That's all I really care about. You can solve my problem? Cool, you can have my money. Great, awesome. That's what I'm looking for. Go ahead.
My name's RJ. What I learned from the board today, what I wrote down was I learned that, okay, backtrack one more time. Okay, put this down. So I'm not going to do the raising hand thing, but I'm sure like out of all of us, I'm not the only person there that had a bad day or a bad week, stuff like that. I'm sure many people have. So what I learned from the board game was last Monday, it cut my legs, and I haven't walked yet to this day. But I learned that with like good spirits, the proper nutrition, teamwork, and my leadership, that like you'll make better decisions. Like today I've been eating snacks, talking to people, been around good people, so I put myself in a position to learn. And that's the reason why you don't learn anything, because you're not feeding your body and your mind the proper nutrition And so that's what I took from the board game today was I made the decision to get out of bed and bring people with me and put all of us in the proper environment and to feed our mind and body the proper nutrition to learn. Because when you're eating good food and proper nutrition, you make good decisions and good thoughts. When you eat lazy food, fast food, you make bad decisions and you have bad thoughts and you go left instead of going right. So what I learned just from being here today was you put yourself in good spirits, you feed yourself, you wake up, you exercise, and you get on a schedule. You're able to track your progression. And once you track your progression, you're able to build off your progression because you know where you are on your own chart. Thank you.
There's a lot that he just said there, and I could go for a long time, but I'm going to sum it up as this. Environment trumps will every day. Environment trumps will. Some of you, you've been in this environment now for a few hours and you're feeling all charged and excited and you're like, yeah, I can take on the world. And unfortunately, when you leave here, you live in an environment, are related to people in an environment that aren't exactly of the same mindset. They were not here, and that's going to become a battle as soon as you walk through that door. I hope that you are brave enough to get back in your car and take that risk driving to come back to this environment, because without the environment necessary to support you in the goals, it will not be successful. It is very, very challenging to change your particular mindset that has created the results you currently call your experience and to somehow magically achieve something new. The concept of I'm self-made, total crap. It takes a whole bunch of people. It's taken this man right here, James, to help me learn how to be a better husband. Many times. Late at night. Lots of hours. And I'm still working on it. It's taken that woman right there, LaTanya, to help me not to just want to bail on that whole concept and tell me that it's okay, Jay, you're gonna make it through. That's in marriage, which is important. So is money. So is all of these things that we're talking about today. You can't play this one time and go, I got it, I'm good. I did that. It doesn't work that way. You got to have consistent tune-ups. You don't change your oil in the car one time and go, I'm done with that. You don't put gas in the car one time and go, I did that last week. Why would I need to do it again? I took a bath last year. Great. Could you please find some more water and do it one more time? You don't do those things. But yet, for some reason, in this situation, we put up these walls as if everything is okay, and yet this game has shown us so many ways in which it's not. And we have to figure out a way to make things better for ourselves. And occasionally we're presented with an opportunity that allows us to do that, and we're like, what am I going to do? And we get scared, and we run the other direction. So I have a simple question. It says, based upon what you've learned so far, are you ready to take this game into your reality by a show of hands? Yeah? Is that a yes? Like, this would be awesome if you could do this every day. So, to answer the question in your head, some of you are wondering, what does he do? I do this. This is literally what I do. When I check my email, there are opportunity cards that are there. That's what it is. I get it. It's every morning. I don't know what they are. And sometimes when I check my email, it's a doodad card. Right? And sometimes when I check my email, it's a market card. Like earlier this week, I have a 182-unit building. They were like, yeah, these people flew into town. They're looking at your building. They'd like to buy it. I'm like, cool. That's called an opportunity card. They didn't make me an offer that I am liking, so moving on. And some of you, you received offers in the game. It's like, no, I'm not going to sell. Right? Same thing. Others, this is literally what I do. If you've ever had the privilege of driving around with me in the car, all you hear is this. Every day. That's all I know how to do is this. Every phone call, opportunity card, doodad. Fortunately, there are no more babies on the schedule. I have enough of those already, right? But this is my life. So here's what I'm saying I should strongly suggest you do. many of the individuals that invited you here today. Now, some of you, if you came here because you saw the meetup group, you're definitely going to talk to, where'd he go? You got to be out here so I can turn. Yes, him, the guy hiding back there, James. And some of you also that yes, Latanya? Yes? Yes, we have a special prize for you. Make sure your business card is in here so that when we do the raffle in a second, it makes sense. Some of you said to yourselves while playing this game, I should do this in my real life. This is something that I should take action on. And what we've got is we've got an opportunity for you to take action, and here it is. You could have an opportunity to learn to invest with many different types of resources. You just don't know that you have them. We're talking about other people's time, knowledge, money, credit, etc. But most importantly, how can you put yourself in a position to invest with what I call a higher financial IQ? Because today, some of you learn financial words like income statement and balance sheet, and you may have never done those before. Most importantly, I want you to see that quote. Because if you don't go after what you want, you will never have it. If you don't ask, the answer is always no. If you don't step forward, you are always in the same place. Period. The individual that invited you here today would like to meet with you later. Why? Because remember how you've seen that in a group with help, you've had the opportunity of making, I couldn't have said it better decisions. That's what we have an opportunity to help you with today, is to help you begin to make better decisions. Because that's what was necessary for me to go from squatting in bank-owned property to now the provider of jobs and properties. Does that make sense? Is that it wasn't my own intuition or knowledge. I needed other people's ideas to help me with that. And they want to help you the same. So here's your action step. And you need to learn to move at the speed of instruction. The speed of what? Instruction. That means there's no room for your better idea. It means take action. Here's what that looks like. When you're done, before you go downstairs, you talk to the person that invited you and says, hey, I'd like to meet within the next 24 to 48 hours. What do you have available? And there you go. And then you know what? Magically, you make sure you show up. Because oftentimes we take that first step. Remember, I said you don't leave the scene of a decision without taking measurable action towards it. We take that first step, but then we don't follow through. We make an excuse. And all of a sudden, 48 hours from now, you got to wash your hair. Your cat needs a bath. Is it really laundry day? Like, really? And then you miss out on an opportunity that could move you in the direction you wanted to go. Because some of you, you're like, what is really going to happen today? I don't know. But how many of you are willing to admit that you wish you had more people here today and your friend or your husband was here and you, oh my God, somebody you know should have heard this? That happens every time. And that's my point. The same thing happens for you when you sit down with the individual that invited you here. So one last thing, and then I'll be done. For those of you who like to read, you want to know more of the ideas that float around in my head, I'm willing to give you a free chapter from my book. Here's what you must do. You must use your cell phone to text to that phone number. The keyword is book, B-O-O-K. B-O-O-K. And you'll get a free chapter, chapter number 1. It goes into more detail about my story and everything that happened. Some of you will go, wow, I'm glad I'm not you, you know. And some of you will find encouragement from that so that you can take forward. And yes? You can finish it. Okay, got it. So, and for others of you, you're like, you know what, the first chapter is not enough. Just give me the whole thing. Great. What you have the ability to do is to actually get a copy of the book. If you get one here, I'll sign it for you, if that is of value to you. Some of you are like, no, signing it, you make it worth less that way. I will sign it for you if you want. You can have the entire thing. They are $24.99 each. Purchase two, and you get the audiobook for free. Now, because I am a techno nerd and I can't help myself, I like to make things easy by using lots of technology. So if you find yourself, that gives you the free chapter right there. If you find yourself like, hey, I would love to go ahead and be able to get a copy of the book, great. I appreciate that. Here's how I would prefer you purchase it. On your cell phones and or iPhones or whatever you've got, you can go to cashflowdiary.com/live. It will go ahead and take all of your payment information. You take your phone, you show it to Scott or Sandy, they hand you a book. Very clean, very simple. Yes, cash is still accepted. That's fine. Again, they're $24.99. Let's call it $25. Buy two, get the audiobook for free. And you are the first people to hear this. The audiobook is actually done. Hallelujah. It has been a process to say the least. With that being said, I hope that you've had an interesting and fun time with us here today. I thank you again for listening. I look forward. We'll just take it one-on-one.
Oh, well, everybody might.
Okay, go for it.
Well, we're going to have to text the number. I don't know. Do we have to have a smartphone? Because are you going to text the chapter?
No, it's going to email you the chapter. It'll ask you for your name and email. So when you text the number, it'll ask you for your name and email. No smartphone required. Okay. So, and then it'll email you the chapter. So you're good. All right. So with that being said, guys, I definitely appreciate the time that you've listened and invested here with me. Thank you for that. I look forward to talking to you soon. And I give you James and LaTanya Keys.
Really quickly, who hasn't put a business card in here who has a business card? I'm going to tell you this right now. You're going to want to put a card in here. Okay. You can write. If you don't have a business card, you want to write your name on a sticky piece of gum wrapper or something. You're going to want to be in this. Trust me. While we're collecting this, the business cards, there you go. Let's get it in. All right, does anyone else want to add to this? There you go. You got another card in there? No, my wife already got it. All right. So everyone good? Everyone have a card in here that wanted one? Okay, we're going to move forward. If I can get everyone's attention really quickly. Guys, I want to give a special thanks to Mo and Sophia. If you guys can come in. Sophia, come on in. These are the big dogs that run the office here. They allowed us to be able to use this space today, so please give them a warm hand of applause. With that said, we're going to pull a rabbit out of the hat over here. Let me do it backwards so there's no cheating. Where's that box at? All right, let's see what we got here. All right, Vanna. No. JR. Come on, baby. RJ, I'm sorry, RJ. I'm dyslexic. Forgive me, man. RJ. We're going to get him on his way. You want to tell him what you want to... You don't get your drink on. Hopefully you learned something today. All right, you want to say anything? Thank you. Anything?
Yes, I would like to say thank you to everybody in here. Try to surround yourself around more environments like this, and you'll go further. I welcome anybody that doesn't have an opportunity to come to Oxiana for an opportunity. We got great leadership. We got great people here. This is a great environment, and you'll be welcome to a great family. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. I think we have some more gifts here, don't we? Yeah, we do. All right, we're going to keep going. I like giving stuff away. If you guys haven't figured out yet, me and my wife are marriage consultants. We help folks with less. Get this guy out of here.
Who is that?
He just wins. Can't win no more. Hey. How many times you put your name in there?
It's actually funny because my business card in there too.
So yeah, your stuff is questionable then. Uh-oh. Who is this? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Get that dude stuff. That's him. Hey. Man, how many cards you got here?
Is that him?
Man, how many cards you got here?
Baby, this is all you?
I want you to keep my card.
Obviously. All right.
Starting new. All right, here we go again. No, we can't get. Give me another. That's Mo. Mo can't get nothing.
Grab that paper right there. Big paper right there. Oh, that's a nice paper right there. Yeah, that's a good one.
What is that?
Jamal, come on up here, Jamal. He said, grab that big paper right there.
That's a big paper right here.
Are you married, sir?
Engaged.
Engaged.
So
He's almost there.
What? Oh, wow. Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. You get a hug.
Thank you very much.
So what else we got there, baby? We got a few more things? All right, we're going in again. Your opportunities is still available. Thomas Chu.
Oh, Mr. Chu.
Choo-choo. Come on, Mr. Chu. Thomas, come on.